We are back. Hello. Welcome to The Wandering Isles. My name is Ken. I am joined here today by Mr. Ryan playing Amadriana, Mr. Keen playing Dash, Mr. Rory playing Eos, Mr. Busy playing Hatsu, and Mr. Richard playing Slate. I can't bend that way.
Yeah, you're bending the wrong way, are you?
Am I? Oh god. On stream, I hope it's right.
As in you bending? That's
oh, me bending. Like no, yeah. I'm entirely vertical. There is no horizontal here. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We are excited to be back. We're going to jump straight into it to hopefully get towards the end of this epic quest that we are on. Rhino, why don't you remind them where we're at?
So, the guys taking a little bit of a journey with this person, this unknown entity. They take a ride on a little bit of a boat, but don't seem to actually be sailing, instead just skirting across the ice. Until that is, they start dropping through it. All by design, all mechanical, and all on its own. They arrive into this underground, wonderful place where they've definitely kept every single piece that they came in with. And as they made their way to the tavern, found a mysterious stranger sitting at the bar waiting for them. Only to realize it was the wonderful, the amazing Amadriana.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hello, boys. How have you been? And hello, Yos. Where's the others? She says, as we realize that you left everyone else up on the fucking surface. Amadriana lets you know that you are relatively safe. We have some conversations. We talk about things, but not too much, because this isn't the place where you divulge your secrets, because they will definitely be used against you. After working out a few little things, and working out what happened with this fiery old man that Dash sliced the nipples out of, we got into a situation where we were resting for the evening, ready to go on for the next day, where a few little conversations are had. But the two biggest things to come out of it was that, one, Slate seemed to remember something, seemed to jog his mind, and made him realize he didn't like school. So, with another little element just knocked off of the possible of what's going to happen. We also went out, got our shopping, and Dash got some new blades. But being the selfish git that he is, didn't get any for Alyssa. So she had to take one, which, let's be honest, she would have taken one regardless, even if he had bought her own ones.
Yeah, she gave it back.
Yeah, for how long, though?
I don't remember that part. Did she give it back? I don't know.
She gave it back.
I don't think so.
I might have to remove it from my spine, but she gave it back.
Did she? I think she kept both, actually, now that I think about it.
So, with the party back together, Dash seemingly back in his place under Alyssa's thumb, we are ready to start today.
I don't think he ever got out of that one.
He felt like he was free because she wasn't actually there. Oh yeah, and Alyssa had a good night's sleep because Dash wasn't there. That's the main part of what happened last week.
Just staring at Slate.
As you leave the town, the snow is falling, but it's a nice sunny day somehow. If it can happen in Ireland, it can happen anywhere.
How is it like snowing but still need sunglasses? It's weird.
You guys have no horses yet. You have a cart. This is a question that occurred to me during the week. How are we moving the cart?
No, we have a sled, remember? We had the polished skis.
Sorry, sled. Yeah. You have a cart, a wheelless cart. It's like one of those upgraded ones.
Yeah, but
I assume
it goes across the
Minotaur
snow.
Slate.
Ah, yeah.
Actually, maybe not. That's probably not wise in these parts.
Stop trying to get him killed, man. So I need to know, because it is quite heavy. It's over encumbered with wood and all these different things. So it may impact how far you can go each day. And on this particular leg of the journey, is the first time you don't really have horses and stuff to pull it. Like, you had to do it yourselves the first couple days and it slowed you down. Then you didn't have to do it from the last town to this one, but now the horses went home. So I'm curious how you're bringing the sled with you.
So my question is, are we there when the new sled that was requested is being delivered?
I think it was just waiting for you. If I remember last week, I think we were sort of skimming across.
So it was just unattended in the street and anyone could take it when we got there?
Yeah, but it had janky old wood on it, so I think it was fine.
So what it was arranged was that there would be a fresh, brand new sled made, slicker skis. It was a little bit bigger, so it could spread the weight out and stuff. Yeah.
They broke the other one apart and just used the wood, ship Theseus style.
So I was just wondering if they left this brand new, gleaming, upgraded sled just like unattended in the street.
I'll go one step further is to remind you that there's always eyes watching with this group, and on the rooftops were figures when you guys were entering. You would assume that things would be safe even if left on the street for you.
That's excellent, because I'm also going to assume that we can ask them for horses, because they put it here, which means something pulled it here, which means we can get something to put it and move it again. So that's where I'm going with that.
How are you getting their attention?
By throwing a load of gold in the sky. No.
Well, I believe Slate's in child form, right? So that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed, you throw a coin down, a load of people come running over. Yeah.
Now, obviously, we were all there, right? Because this was the morning. But Amagiana's just going to stand back and watch and see what Slate actually comes up with. She could easily get their attention, but she's waiting to see what Slate does.
Eos is watching out from the window inside the inn. Like,
how did you get back to the inn?
We could just go.
The guy.
We could go procure a couple of Clydesdales and just. I'm sure there's a merchant here somewhere that sells or rents beasts of burden.
Is that a question directed at me or the party?
To whoever wants to answer.
Sounds like it was directed to nobody.
Yeah.
Did I notice any, folks or merchants that would sell or rent animals out?
There would be stables here, yeah, of course.
I have climbed into the new sled and I am pulling every bell, whistle, like anything I can do. I'm touching everything, I'm climbing on everything, and, jumping up and down on it, and anything else I can do.
As a child would do, yeah.
Yeah, but also I'm making note of it, but I'm making it, purposely like you say, as a child would.
What is the matter, Slate? You don't seem impressed.
How do we make it go?
You simply have to ask.
Go, go, go!
Just like...
I meant
crashes
you
through the inn that had to
people-
fixed.
Yeah. I meant you have to ask the people that supplied it. Do I see anyone that would be likely that I could ask?
Better, do I see anyone on the street? Because I immediately turn to anyone I can see and ask them to make it go.
Sure, yeah, you're talking to pedestrians about making it go. Madriana, I'm gonna get you to make an active perception check, but I'll give you advantage because you kind of know their wily ways.
Wily ways. Like the way that was put.
It's not often you get to use wily ways in a sentence.
That's true.
One mispronunciation away from being cancelled.
8. You know where they should be, but they ain't there.
Damn it, they're at least 2 levels above me. I will. Okay, I'm gonna take a gold coin out of my pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna put my hands behind my back so they're not gonna be able to see it. But I'm gonna take a gold coin out, and I say, Slade, let us go back and get the others and make sure we're packed up. And I'm sure there'll be some horses here ready to pull this for us. And I'll put the gold coin on the sled.
No worries. As you're doing that, I want you to make a sleight of hand check. I'm not going to fail what you did. It's for something else.
Okay.
While
To
he's
see
doing
whether
that,
I noticed it's missing.
No,
I'm
no.
going to go over to all the fresh snow in front of the cart, and I'm going to physically draw flat horses on the ground in the snow and just start pointing as if anyone's watching, just at flat horses drawn in the snow.
No
And
worries.
it's like thumbs up.
And Madriana with an 8, you don't know that. What I was going to say is see if Dash notices how you got the coin, or if you just went like this and got a coin in your hand. And like,
Yeah.
I was just trying to see that. I like messing with Dash's passive.
Was that magic?
Yeah, right. She can make money.
He's a witch.
Burner. Eos, you were about to say something. Sorry.
Yeah. Eo's currently inside the inn. Is there a rooftop access stairway, doorway, whatever the term is? There's a way to access the roof from the inn.
You can get into the attic. I would imagine, probably, maybe. I don't really know. I mean, I don't know what an inn would do with that. So, like, I have no problem with them having one, but I have no way in my brain to say this is why they would have one. So that's what's making me probably lean into no. They definitely have an attic, if that helps. You can probably climb out a window or something.
Oh,
Can I make an argument?
I
was going to say, can I make an argument to help Rory with that?
Sure.
That in these kinds of places, you usually have a Thatcher or a Tyler, and they
Okay.
would need a way up.
You're correct. I will roll
The
with that.
purpose of what I'm trying to do is access the roof to talk to these people.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let me think. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, for repairs and stuff, you would need to have it, and I'll give it to you on the premise that Hatsu also just fixed up the inn. So like, if there was ever to be a way out, it would be like a good ladder now. Like, wouldn't be some shitty rickety old piece of crap. It'll be like a decent ladder, like a styra or something.
A single string.
A styra you pull on the little thread, and the stairs just pops down. That's a really Irish reference.
Not sponsored.
Could be styra. Reach out to us.
You'll be Delira with your styra.
We'll
No, don't say
escalate this.
We don't know if they'll be Delira with the styra.
Other pull downstairs are available.
Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. You go up. We'll call it styra. You go up your styra.
Yeah,
Definitely.
she's up to Styra. She's like, what?
This is so
And-
futuristic. It's like almost from the 90s.
Crazy. Beyond her expectations. She, staying within the shade of the sunlight at the doorway, tap, 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 trying to get attention of what she assumed would be people looking out down the streets.
Not so much with the people, because it's still, I believe, early morning because you guys were about to venture out.
Yeah.
But what I will give to Eos is twofold. One, you see the sun rising in the distance, and it, like, the way it sort of spans across the line, just, you're looking at where you're going, and it just looks breathtaking. There's almost an excitement within you of like this is the next leg of the journey, but it's not filled with fear or anything like that. There's just beauty where you're heading. Okay. The other thing is then if you want to make an investigation or perception, I suppose investigation in this case for me.
Correcto. Shall do. Clickety clack. Let's roll.
You guys are just not rolling good today. 2 8s and a 2 today. Go on. A 2, Eos. You're pretty like, you're like, wow, that is a beautiful sunrise, and then you just realize that your corneas are like burning out of your skull, the retinas or whatever. So like, you're just like, you sort of climb back down the ladder, and you can't even see. You need to wait for a second for your eyes to adjust to the light again. You just let the styra back up.
Considering your species, that is absolutely correct. Actually, yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't pan out, but it might be because of the time that you guys are struggling to find someone here.
Oh, she's not used to sunrise like that. It's too high.
As I said, I put my gold coin on there. I put out there that what I was looking for, and I'll head back in. She's gonna grab Slate Child's hand and be like, "Come on, dear, let's get you back indoors. The horses will be here when we come out, okay?"
You're on mute.
In my sweetest, gruffest man voice, I'm going to turn to you and say, Over the last week, I did spend a lot of time walking around, getting the lay of the land, talking to locals, and there's the shipyards and all the product being moved to and from. I'm pretty sure I would have seen some horses down around there helping them move things. There's a lot of movement down there. We could probably get a horse there if we're absolutely stuck. I mean, if we're absolutely stuck.
Oh,
So-
gee, someone suggested that 10 minutes ago.
Shame they weren't with us then, wasn't it?
Dash is like, I was right here. I said it out loud.
I didn't hear you. With everything that's going on, so the cart itself expanded upon slightly to fit you guys, can bring you and your supply of janky old wood. Horses would be beneficial. It can be walked by man if the rolls continue this way, but horses would be beneficial. So you guys are inside having this conversation, and then you just hear like a whinny and like a and you look out and the horses are already there and ready to go.
What kind of horses?
What kind of horses do you want them to be?
Clydesdales.
Since that's the only horse I know, I will agree. Appalachia, is that a horse?
Appalachia's a horse, but that's a different breed of horse. Clydesdale's the Budweiser rad.
We are not sponsored today, but we're really pushing for it apparently.
You have to put that little P in the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. Just keep putting warnings on the
Product
side.
placement. Yeah.
Placement.
I want just giant Shire horses.
Giant Shire horses? Yeah. Shadowfax. They are an amalgamation of all of those horses. It's a new species that we've introduced.
Iredale.
Humongous chungus Shirongus.
They're like broad, like there's veins popping, they're swole as shit.
They wake up in the morning and they do a cold start like a diesel engine.
Yeah.
Oh my god, 1.9
They are what
TDI.
horsepower is named after.
Papa
Yes.
Horseo.
So you board your cart. Your sled cart. Do we have a word for
Yeah,
this?
sled.
Slick cart.
Daddy DM, you check your whispers real quick.
Don't.
Oh.
Oh dear. I don't have any whispers. Oh.
And Medjana will be
you can.
wrangling everything up. And come on, let's get on the slart. No,
Slart.
that doesn't sound right. The key? No.
I'm pretty good with
I'm not
slart,
sure.
man.
Are you
I'm
okay, Majorna?
Kinda into slart.
I was trying to mix two words and it wasn't working.
Oh.
It's not quite as good as Dashios.
That's,
To the
that's
slart.
What's a Dashios?
You'll never know.
It's a new type of
Right.
cereal.
Here, try Dashios.
I'm pretty good with slart. I'm gonna go with slart. You guys board the slart. Dash, you can give me a sleight of hand check, please. You can do this private or publicly. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll do it private, I guess.
Then I shall not show the roll. But you will probably. Oh, you did it privately. Well done.
Yeah. I'm going to use my inspiration and try to do that again.
Sure. I mean, well, you don't have to. Not that it helped. Oh, it did help. Okay.
It did help
It
massively.
actually
yeah.
massively helped. What I'll do is keep the inspiration because it actually succeeded the first time. What the person you're going to is not the most aware.
Yeah, well, it was more for the others.
Oh, I see. Oh, then I'll go for the second one. Okay. Cool. You're good. Yeah.
I'll mark it off here myself.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice. You're not welcome. Okay. So to get out of here, you would have to cross, either go straight across what is a giant frozen lake with ice things, or go around it. That's also the option. It just adds an extra day either direction.
I have a question.
I might have an answer. We'll see.
If I have spent the better part of a week carousing with the locals, going drinking, playing music, talking to them about their day, we know that they were coming in and out on, ships and different things and all the bits and bobs that are coming and going from where they can. would I have learned, is this ice thick enough that is there an equivalent of like ice road truckers? Is there like carts and horses and stuff that have a path that can cross over the ice safely? Like if there's enough industry there, they will have figured that out, and I would know that they can or can't do that in that area. Because if it's that big and that industrialized, and I've been there for a week and I've been down around the docks, I would know whether or not they can transport stuff across the ice or not.
You definitely had me at ice road truckers.
Yep.
Like I felt my whole energy change and make this excited.
Doable.
Yeah. Ice road starters. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll say you can have a history check with advantage because it wasn't something that was previously discussed, but this path also wasn't something that was previously discussed. Might motivate you guys to ask about your path in future. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, there.
We'll see.
Yay.
To be fair, EOS was on the roof a second ago. I didn't mention it, so that could be on me as well. 19. Yeah. Ice Road Slarders is very common here. None as fancy as yours, but like some people do like a slushy slart, you know, like they just get out there and keep going.
I can't
There
wait
are-
for the tongue twister to fuck you.
Yeah, I
there
know.
in a second.
I was really cautious there. Yeah, no, you guys can make it on your own. You can definitely follow a convoy if you wish, but there are certainly
We're in a big convoy.
yeah, right. It's probably advantageous to follow some kind of somebody who knows the way.
A professional slaughter.
Professional slarter, yeah. Can we get
So,
slart merch? Can we get a company to make us some slarts?
So we can go around it, potentially on it, and would I know if any of these major convoy trade routes, safe-ish passages, head in more or less the direction we want to go?
They don't head in the direction you want to go, and the reason being is that nobody wants to go in this direction, but they do head in other directions to hit the shorelines around the forest, and then you guys can just kind of take probably a day off the journey by, you know, like it's not going to be the perfect straight path, but it'll be something. Or you guys can try and go for the perfect straight path, and we can do some rolls and see how it goes, but I would imagine that only death leads in that direction, so...
You know when you're on a road trip and you get lost and you get that whole scene where you take out the map and you put it on the bonnet, you're like, we're here. We want to get here. I do that, but with crayons, and I'm drawing with two hands.
But in a 90s movie, it's just like a dad who's really pissed and doesn't want to ask for directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no worries. So, I mean, it's a few days out. It's not like super current, like you're going to be there in 20-minute journey. Like there will need to be camps and stuff like that. But if you guys are going straight across, look here. You're probably talking about the better part of a day and a half. So you'd be there tomorrow night if you take the shortcut, or you'd be there the next morning if you take like the round route. Yeah.
So I'll relay all of that, the basic crude knowledge and understanding I have of the locality, what I've gleaned, and that I think we can do it this way. I don't really know the time frame, but roughly shorter, quicker. But the depth of it I don't have. But that's the gist of it. And then I'm just going to turn to the group and say, yeah, who wants to go across the ice? And then just raise my hand.
I guess the question is, are we in any particular rush? If not, it makes sense to take the safer
Wait a minute.
route.
Is Dash the voice of reason?
I hate to remind everyone, but there was potential instances back in the school where people might have been affected by what we're trying to find the antidote for.
Correct. Does a day make a difference
Yes.
at this point?
I'd say it would, yes. Especially as we've been a while.
Thousands of lives, Dash.
Thousands?
Well, at least 10.
I mean, to be fair, we could do both. We'll cross the ice, you go round. Everyone's a winner.
No, I'll stick with the group. I just figured it's best to analyze the options before we set off willy-nilly.
Oh, you're right to mention it, though.
You see Hatsu look in your direction like,
Why do I have 4 hands?
Well,
It's not a star, yes.
Yes, did you get into the whiskey?
No, I stared at the sun for too long.
if I'm
You can't live on the sun.
Or a star.
Watch your mouth.
Or a star.
Double dash. Stop moving.
If I may make a suggestion, it's that we go as quickly as possible and get the fuck out of this cold wasteland.
You know we're going deeper into it, right?
This is fucking horseshit. That's what this is.
Slate, lead the way.
Yeah, we should probably clean that up.
Or we're going to see.
So while everyone's having this conversation, I'm just loading all the packs and things on. I'm just going to start gently, like, warming up the horses and starting to gently get them just to start walking really slowly and just start to pull away really slowly.
Dash
so
has
everyone
his
just
back to the
gets
cart
on.
and it's just moving away in the background.
Madriana sat on the back just watching him talk and just like, I wonder when he'll notice.
Yeah, Dash is going to do that Del Boy thing or tries to lean against the cart and it's gone.
It's just gone.
And running behind like, wait for me.
It's okay, I can take the dash action and catch up.
I'm going to read a book.
The horses can also take a dash action.
Do we get names for these horses?
Tim and Tom.
Suitable.
Not related at all.
As
Strange.
opposed to the sweet treat, Tim Tam.
No, it's definitely Tim and Tom. Sam was with another person today. We're really reaching for that sponsorship today. Come on, Tim Tam.
Oh, we're not even
Like
in
the-
Australia.
Just gonna rename the horses O and Rio.
Yeah, okay,
Oh
there
my
you go.
god. Other biscuits are available, such as bourbon.
Fair. Such as bourbon. That was very specific. Okay.
Why did I go to whiskey? I didn't think of
Yeah.
the biscuits.
It took me a minute because I was like, is Rory advertising alcohol?
No, never.
Do we... Yeah, going across the ice, right?
We're going the straight way, right?
Yes, sir.
The quickest route. I think, yeah.
I guess so.
The path of most resistance. Got it. Off you go onto the ice. Clip, clop, crick, crack. Across the ice you go.
And like we said, we're going to follow the stream of other people and the used and the tried and tested and best we can. So I presume there's somebody else moving around on the ice, or is there at this time? I presume there might be.
There are,
you
but
know.
there's a fair distance between you guys. Like, it's like
Yeah,
too
fair.
much weight in one spot isn't the
Yeah.
smartest. But
Ice road truckers. Got to keep those gaps.
Yeah.
there's a sound that I can't possibly describe that's occurring here. But years ago, I lived in Norway. And when you step onto the ice, sometimes it makes the craziest crack sound ever because it spans across the ice. That happens occasionally. Any of you who are not from regions that usually get ice are probably a little bit like, what the f is that? Like, that's...
No, but I am on ice cracking TikTok these days, so yep, I know what you mean.
Ice cracking TikTok is good too. It's a crazy sound. It like billows around you and it moves further away from you. It's a very surreal thing. I love it. But that's definitely happening here at a sort of casual frequency. It's not like every 12 seconds or something. It's just every couple minutes there might be one or two. And it's just because ice cracks and reforms itself. It's pretty normal. But those of you who don't experience that might not be too normal.
Is that something we should be concerned about?
He was looking down anxiously at her book going, no, it's fine.
Inside check.
The book's upside down.
Question.
As long as you're dry, it's all good. If you hear that sound and you're wet, you're not in for a good time.
That's good advice.
I'm concerned I might hear that sound and then become wet right after it. Is that? I mean, it sounds like the lake is falling apart.
As long as you don't fire any arrows, we'll be fine.
Why the fuck would I do that?
Pretty sure he'd missed the
Why
lake
did
anyway.
you- Well, no, it's more that he'd fire it at
Hang
something.
on, I'll
and hit
show
the lake.
you. I'll show you.
If you fall in, your body will
That
go
was-
into cold shock.
That was
So
less.
you just got to fight that urge first.
There's less Dash and Morky in there for a second. Yeah, absolutely.
Lines get blurred.
As you travel, that sound gets more deep because you guys are obviously moving across the water. But beyond that, it is stunning. The sun is shining down. The snow is falling, but it's almost got this kind of sparkle to it as it does. It's a beautiful journey, but it's
on. I know I
definitely
look like a dickhead, but at least I won't be blinded.
just leaning out the end, driver's tan up your arm. Yeah.
I would like to mark this book as red if that's possible, that idea.
Mark it as green or blue if you want to. What book is it?
The Song of Shadows.
Song of Shadows. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so stupid.
my bad.
Ah,
I got you.
damn you, Ken.
Nice. Because I presume by now she would have read it like over.
Question. As we're dashing across the lake, how long can we expect to be traveling? Did we say?
It's probably going to be about an hour to get across the lake itself, rather than the half a day or so. Well, no, it'll be more than an hour. I guess it'll be about 3 hours because it has to work up to the time. Yeah.
Have you got somewhere better to be, Dash? You seem bored.
Just thinking, would you care for a game to pass the time?
I don't know if the cart has enough room for Cluedo, but...
She looks around like
Monopoly.
how barren this ice lake is and goes, I do hope it's not I Spy.
No,
I
it's I Spy, but it's more of a, I don't know if you call it a philosophical musing type game we used to play in Palparoth. We call it Would You Rather.
Eos reads deeper into the book, like.
For example, I'll present you with two opposing options, and you decide which you would prefer based on, well, whatever scenarios you can think of yourself. For example, would you rather be able to read minds or see the future?
How would you know I can't do either?
It's a game, Adriana. I'm not presuming your abilities.
If you could see the future, could you not argue that you could read their mind because you'd know what they were about to do? Because in the future they've already done it, therefore you know their intention. So therefore, and you know the outcome, not just what they were thinking, what they were going to do. Because they did it, you would also know the outcome. So I'm going to go future.
I'm going to go for that too because I can already do the other.
Interesting. Yes, Hatsu?
I don't participate in bullshit.
Now that's a t-shirt.
Holy shit.
That's a t-shirt. The world would be quite boring without some scatterings of bullshit. It's a good fertilizer. Okay, here's another one. Would you rather be remembered as a hero, but die young? Or live a long, quiet life in obscurity?
Live fast, live a beautiful body behind, right?
Does it have to be specifically one or the other?
That's the idea of the game.
I don't want to be known, so I guess I'll pick the second.
Interesting.
What about you, Dash?
I'd be inclined for the second as well myself.
Well, he can't do the first because he wouldn't be leaving a good body, would he?
You've seen these abs.
Covered in
Not my
baby
taste,
oil.
darling.
Yeah, sure, Eos. Surely you have an answer.
Of course. Second choice.
Oh, so we're all aligned there. Interesting.
Is Slate still in child form, or is he...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Driving the car.
Yeah.
I want to be a pony.
How about you, Lisa?
I think it's a matter of perspective. I mean, apparently I'm older than I think I am, and I don't remember. So as far as I'm concerned, if I was to die now, I'd die young.
You could do both.
If you were a hero, the question is, who are you a hero to? Like a father to a son, or a man to a nation? So it's all a matter of perspective and what you believe success is. So actually, you can argue they're both one and the same. Because if you choose the second, you successfully have made it to old age and died in obscurity. And the first one, either or, you're successful and you're happy. So ultimately, you're asking, do you want to die happy? And everyone said yes.
I get the feeling that Slate is trying to win at a game that has no winners.
Or he gets the game.
Well, he gets
I like
the
that answer, Slate.
Or he's much smarter
Yes!
than Dash.
It's not a difficult
Major, that
task.
would not be difficult.
Hatsu, surely you have an answer for the hypothetical?
Honestly, I don't care about either. I don't care particularly about being seen, nor do I care about who am I a hero to. I dedicate my swords to those who need it.
So second then.
Does that answer your question?
In a way. Abstaining is an answer.
Ayami nods and agrees with Hatsu's answer. She would do the same.
Okay, let's try a more practical question then. If you were assigned a mission...
7.
42.
42.
Yeah, I was going to say it too. Damn it.
And Major just puts her fist up to Hatsu, like, you know, for the fist bump, like...
Would you rather take on a very dangerous mission alone, or with someone that you don't trust?
Oh, shit.
The second.
The second.
Really?
Well, Dash, that is how we met.
Well, and that's what Lissa would do when you get caught, right? I would do the same, I guess. You always need some pawns.
Exactly, Hatsu.
Unless you can be those pawns yourself.
No,
Or
you
you
never want to be the
all-star.
pawn.
No, you just don't want to stay the pawn. You can be perceived as the pawn. You just
Yeah,
don't want to
yes.
stay the pawn.
And you
You
can
play-
always be the queen if you're fast enough.
Yeah, you can always work your way up the board.
What's a queen to a pawn but another piece on the board?
Oh, I have to show you the game of shogi, because that is way different.
Interesting. Yes.
I don't know if you would understand it, but
Probably
way
not.
better than chess.
Chess is a stretch for me, I'll be honest.
Checkers is a stretch.
I like checkers, they hop.
Dominoes is a stretch for him.
Ian doesn't know how to play fucking dominoes, never mind. Just knock him over after 3 of them. Yes, any thoughts on that one?
Eos's complexion turns cold. She looks down at the book. Option 1 is why I'm still alive.
I've asked enough of the questions. You understand the game now. Any scenarios any of you would like to present?
Did you
You
yourself
didn't answer
the
that
question?
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first one.
Too many voices at the same time.
Why?
I've taken missions alone and succeeded. I have never taken a mission with someone I don't trust. Yes, even you, Lissa.
Can I offer you a little bit of insight as to my second choice?
Of course.
You take a job. You go with someone you don't trust. All you need to do is watch one thing, while they watch 2. They watch the job and yourself. You watch them. Because then once they complete the job, you just have to deal with them.
So in that scenario, are you the untrustworthy one?
Oh, if I'm with someone that I don't trust, I'm almost guaranteed that they don't trust me either.
Interesting. I like that answer.
You seem to like every answer.
I do. Every answer gives a little bit of insight into how you think. And there's no wrong answers here. I may have different thoughts, but the opposing thoughts are equally as interesting to me.
Don't get me wrong, Dash, I would be happy to throw you to the wolves to get out of it myself.
I would have a different angle to view at this. Because I would do the same, but in a different way. The way that I see it is, if I know there's somebody that is not trustworthy, I would rather pick that individual before I kind of let that person be harm for my beloved ones, if that makes sense. I know my voice sounds a little off today, but I'm really sick of that cold weather here. But
No, that's an honorable angle at it, I'd say.
you need special circumstances to understand to which degree somebody's not trustworthy. You know,
And
and you
there
want to
is-
find it out when you're alone with that person instead of having others being risked.
Yes, there is also the argument that at least someone you don't trust is a known entity. You know you don't trust them, whereas someone new, you haven't figured it out yet.
Okay, Dash, you wanted some hypotheticals towards the rest of the group as well. Here's one for you and for everyone. Would you rather succeed in your ultimate goal of life, but lose the person you cherish the most? Or would you rather keep the person you cherish the most and see everyone else suffer?
Oh, straight in with the hard ones.
I feel like for me it would be both. Because my ultimate goal is to find out who I am, thus losing myself in the process. In doing that and losing myself, I'm no longer who I was, which means who you know me as is not who I am, which means I hurt all of you. So either way, it's the same for me.
But you're looking at that wrong, Slate, I think. You're looking at it as finding your original self means that you lose your current self. I look at it that you just add on to it. So who we see now and who we know now will still be you, just with added information.
It all depends on what the information is, though.
Well, let's be honest, unless you killed a sibling that I've never had, I don't think we're going to have too much of an issue. And even then, it would depend on your reasoning. But I still don't think you'd be a different person. You would just be a bit more complicated.
And also, you should have learned what we did for Gorebound, so you shouldn't worry too much, I guess.
Free pass. Got it. Writes it down in his book. Massive writing. Free pass.
Just don't cut anyone's nipples off, please.
Yes, that's totally inappropriate. So, Dash?
It's a very difficult one. It's not one I can answer instinctively.
Well, I can tell you whatever you say when Lissa's around, it will be the wrong answer, buddy.
I'll give you my perspective on this one, Adriana. Greed is the root of all evil, which slowly suffocates all those who blissfully play within our devil's playground. Would you be too greedy to wish one life among the life of many? That is a question of which only a weapon can answer.
Very well put.
Well,
The devil
I
you choose
think...
is the devil you know.
If you see yourself not as a tree in the forest, rather see us all as one tree with different branches and leaves, I would always say, save the many, because the ones that I love would always give their life for the many.
My circles are inherently more selfish than that, Matsu. Sorry, Liz, that's the way we are, isn't it?
Selfish is perspective, isn't it? I mean, Hatsu, you just said the many. That sounds grand and noble and honourable. But I've heard it phrased another way, which is the end justifies the means. And depending on where you look at it...
Of course, many is the many of the people you adore. Because you can't adore somebody you don't know, I guess.
I think if it's a case of the one or the many. You just didn't plan well enough. And she looks straight at Dash when she says that.
I mean, hopefully that hypothetical never comes to pass. Ideal scenario, both.
I mean, this is just a game. It's all it is.
But that's the wonder of it. It's a significant moral dilemma. Interesting philosophical choices, because one could argue that the many is for the better good, but if we give up those that we love, are we heartless beings that are not worth saving?
But who decides who's worth and who's not? You?
Everyone decides for themselves. I couldn't decide if I saved, let's say, 100 people in the next village over. If they're all murderers and rapists, is that actually good, as opposed to saving one of you, who I know to be good people?
Historically speaking, it's whoever wields the sword.
This is true.
Good or bad.
And whoever swings it gets to write the story after anyway.
History is always written by the victor.
Doesn't mean that it's always true, right?
Correct.
Right.
Sometimes you let them in the belief that they are the victor.
As I've always said, it's always three sides to the story. Yours, theirs, and the truth. I just brought that one up anyway, Dash, because you'd mentioned about being a hero. In that situation, you're a hero to millions or thousands. But you're also the finisher of one. How many
That's a good
lives
one.
is it going to take to save everyone?
It's a good question.
I think the real answers to your questions will occur when the moments arrive to make these decisions, not to think about it all day. Because I feel like you're getting stunned by your thoughts a lot.
Yeah, don't think, just act.
That's not what you want from me, trust me.
No, it's not what we don't want that from EOS, apparently. Schools will explode.
I was homeschooled, don't worry.
Okay, here's another one. Would you rather drink only tea for the rest of your life,
Yes.
but always be a little bit thirsty?
What?
Or always be slightly too cold?
But like, if you're thirsty, then you just get more tea, so where's the issue?
You'll always be just a little bit thirsty.
Next question, Dash.
But then you just have more tea.
And you'll still be a little bit thirsty.
And you'll have more tea. Yeah, it's a good circle.
It's an endless cycle, but you'll always just be a little bit thirsty.
It's not about the tea. He's talking about he can't stop robbing people. That's what
It's
he's
greed.
asking.
Yes, Hatsu, thank you. That is greed right there, Dash.
I didn't answer the question. I asked you.
Tea.
You said you'd keep the tea.
Oh, you answered the question by asking the question.
Wait, what was the second choice again?
I don't know, something about slavery.
Oh yes, I definitely picked the tea over slavery.
Yeah.
The second option was always be a little bit cold.
You mean like personality?
Yeah.
Or like
Temperature.
temperature? Or...
I mean, if you're a little bit
I
cold,
like
just,
the cold.
yeah, just wear more
What's that?
layers.
Just drink more tea.
Yeah, there you go. You're not very good at this game, are you, Dash?
Even that's a fun one.
I'd like Eos to come up with one. I think she'd come up with something that would surprise everyone.
Oh,
And while she does, I've got one. Would you rather drive the sled instead of me?
And what's the alternative option?
I let go of the reins.
Fine, I'll take over for a bit.
Cool. I handed the reins and then get into the back.
Yes, I think I'm more used to the sky than the ground. What about you, Hatsu? You're full of wisdom and knowledge.
Or does it just look like it?
Perception's reality. I think I've heard Slate say that a few times.
Fact.
Eos looks up from her book. I've got one.
The Majorana just kind of shuffles in as if she's expecting some, like, massive one.
Would you rather fully understand the intentions of a god, but not be able to share it, or know insights which you can truly share anytime, which may cause chaos?
Second one.
But surely the second one is what you are now.
That presumes I know the insights.
No.
There's only one right answer. I don't understand this one.
Basically, would you rather know what a god wants to do but can't tell anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather not know and talk bullshit, like most people do now anyway, about gods?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said get some insight, and if you share it, it causes chaos. To not have insight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is no different to what you are now, surely.
That's status quo, really, isn't it? Yeah.
But wouldn't it also create chaos if you would grasp behind the layer what is going on?
If you knew too much.
It's a case of choosing knowledge or ignorance, really, isn't it?
But it would only cause chaos if you did something about it. So let's say you knew that a god said, like a god's intention was, if I wipe out this one town, all the other towns around it shall thrive and be better off, right? You decide that you can't tell anyone, so the best thing for you to do is act as the hand for this god and wipe out that town. You'll be looked at as a monster, but as far as the gods are concerned, you are looked at as a bearer of good importance. Or you can be ignorant and pretend that you know and use it against the people, as we have seen many times before.
So to
At
paraphrase,
the moment you know,
hear
you're
voices
already
and act on
creating
it, or
chaos.
But that's the thing, though, is how do you truly know that the voice that's speaking to you is actually a god? Something I feel like Eos has had some dealings with.
Dash is going to turn and stare at Dios and Slate individually, just kind of.
Yeah. When I said that to Eos, is there any...
She's looking down at the book. She's like...
So, like, I'm asking, is there anything that's a giveaway that might be a case for Eos? I'm happy to roll it for it if you want me to.
I'd like a roll, yeah, if you don't mind, brother.
Oh my god, the dog shit rolls tonight. What the fuck is wrong?
She sniffs twice.
Except for me, which is weird.
Just for the podcast listeners, run a roll of 6 there.
Thank you. Okay. Who's up next?
Would you rather be unable to fight or unable to love?
that'd be tricky if you love fighting.
Unable to fight.
Unable to love.
Not able to love. You'd still have purpose.
I think it's a misconception that you can have one without the other. Surely you fight for what you love, and you love for what you fight for. So, isn't it one and the other? I don't think you can have either. If you just fight for the sake of it, then you are just the titans of old mythology that fight with no purpose. And if you love but can't fight for it, then your love has no purpose. You need both.
Did you break into the library again?
No, I was reading over Eos' shoulder on this book. It's really good.
I'm sorry, Alyssa, but I think you missed the point of the game. It's one or the other, not bloody both.
But she's totally right.
I'm not saying she isn't, but if it was a forced decision from a god, you have this or this. I believe that was the premise of this game, was it not?
On the broader scope,
But
if you have love, you can love the tea that you used as a hypothetical previously. You can love the smell of something. You can love fresh bread. I think love is far more important than the ability to fight, but that doesn't mean I won't shank somebody. So, I mean, it's hard to say, but I'm quite good at my job, so I don't need to fight.
the question is, can
Love
you
it is.
really love something that you don't want to fight for?
But the way you phrased your question, you can want to fight for it. You're just a bit shit at it.
Oh, we've all seen that's possible. Looks at that.
Hey, look, my body count is one more than yours.
Which body can't you talk
That you know of.
In both respects, yes, I think. Why is Lissa gone red?
See, Dash can only say that because Slate doesn't have any memories from before.
Exactly.
That's
Perception's reality.
That's the DM going red because I just started choking when you said that.
Listen, I once got told if you do it too much, you go blind. I mean, I also heard if you do it too much, you lose your memory. So, look, who knows?
That's the same rumor as the hairy palms. Text palms. No, it's fine.
That must be a horrible thing for those bugbear creatures then.
Wait, are they real?
This is a good one. Would you rather lose your third arm or your memory?
I only have 2 arms.
Well, as a woman, I can't really answer that question.
I know, it's just for him.
What's it?
Oh.
What? I only have 2 arms.
I think he lost his memory.
You might want to classify it as a finger for Dash, from what Alyssa's told me. Not an arm.
Maybe.
I have 10 fingers.
No.
Well, 8 fingers and 2 thumbs, but...
The peg leg.
What?
He's definitely not a tripod, that's for sure.
A tripod, yeah.
What's a tripod?
It's the... Oh, okay.
I love the idea that Alyssa's there just trying not to laugh her absolute arse off.
I've heard about some tribes that do that to young boys, but I didn't know. I'm sorry, Dash.
Oh, you mean my penis?
You discovered it. Well done.
What?
I just wanted to echo across the ice that he shouted that. Like, it just echoes further and further out. Like, people in other slarts are like, what
Penis, penis, penis.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an avalanche over the hill.
Comes back and knocks him off the slot.
That's a tough one. Probably chop my dick off. Memories are what make you.
Wait, was that one of the options?
Apparently.
Not literally. Madriana, don't sound so eager. Wait, who's driving this car?
I mean, surely that's the easiest of everything we've talked about.
What,
And
chopping your penis off?
we have regenerative magic, so
I keep forgetting that's the thing.
But
Done it.
Dash doesn't have the money to pay for that kind of thing.
Oh, he
That's
can
true.
maybe pay with his body count.
Well, he won't be able to pay with his body if he chops it off.
I mean, there's different ways, I think.
I mean, if his body
He'd
count
make
is
good
that
firewood.
high, it might fall off anyway.
It's not.
I have one less serious question that is bothering me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather live on a star or on a moon?
The moon would be freezing and you'll die. Stars burning hot and you die.
Exactly.
I think you'd die quicker in the stars, so I'll probably take that.
He was just nodding.
I'd rather burn up than fade away.
I'll just whisper to Hatsu, do you still think she wants to set herself on fire?
I think so, but I don't know why.
We should keep an eye on her.
That's what I'm saying.
Smart move.
But when you go onto a moon, you can make fire, right?
No,
Don't
because there's
just
no air.
starve. I mean, you know what I'm saying. If there is a way to go up to the moon, there must be a way to generate heat.
I have to say, this is probably one of the dumbest conversations I've ever been a part of.
I mean,
I
it started
think
with
that
Dash.
is the
so what did you
smartest that
expect?
we had so far.
Yeah, philosophical musings. I thought it was entertaining insight into how each of you think.
There is no musings here.
Would you rather be a man or a woman?
Woman?
I would rather.
I couldn't be a woman.
I can be both. I could be either. I mean,
Actually, Slade, you are possibly the only person that would actually be able to answer that completely honestly. Which do you prefer?
No.
it depends on who I'm with and
where.
where I am. It depends on what happens. There's too many variables. It's all about the variables. It's about how you're
If
treated by who you're with, or what you need to do, or who you know.
Who's driving this Slar?
No. When you become a
got it.
Minotaur, you're not a Minotaur. You just look like a Minotaur. And if you become a woman, you just look like a woman, but you're still Slate. That is something different. Unless you chop
Slate.
it off.
Or unless Slate is or was a woman to begin with.
Yeah.
That would be very confusing.
I mean, this goes back to my point earlier. What if I'm not who I think I am, and therefore I'm not who you think I am? And then this is why I need to know.
But
I
who
can't
do you
explain this.
think
I've
you
gone through
are?
it times. Honestly, no idea. I've been so many people so many times.
I mean, I've heard about animals that are kind of both. So I think it's possible, but... I don't know. Are you even human?
Or are you dancer?
Getting into a rather political question. If you think
Tony
belief
Dancer.
of human, because in that regard is Eos human? It's- What qualifies as human?
That is a question. I think we're talking humanoid.
Like the physical form, Hatsu?
What grants
Yeah.
you your humanity? Is it the essence of who you are? Because if so, then Eos is more human than most of the fools I've met in Pelproth.
You haven't seen inside her head where she's imagining everyone burning.
I mean, I think it's a set of features that define things, not like an emotional perspective.
In that
I
case,
mean,
how
this
many
is
things do you need to define things? No?
This is a sleigh, right? Why isn't it a cart?
It's carts of
I mean, they're
wheels.
almost the same, right? So
Almost.
why isn't it just all carts?
Right, but if we were to take the sled off the bottom of this and put wheels there, then it would be a cart.
Exactly. So we need some separation to understand what we are talking about.
But on that
Right.
same logic, if Slate did turn himself into a woman, he would technically be a woman then. It wouldn't just be Slate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Slow woman.
But some way or another, you have like a default state for things.
Yes.
And you can impose as something that you aren't. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can become what you imposed in.
I feel like we're going to get to a point where like the Fallout thing is coming up, where it's like this person liked this person disliked this person liked this, like one Megaton blew up. Like I think we're going to go to a dangerous source there. So let's go back.
Let's slart this way.
This is why I like this game. You can never tell where the conversation ends up.
Dash, I blame you.
Oh, was that a conversation? I thought we were just joking around. By the way, nothing
Joking
that I
can be
said is really
conversation.
what I mean. I just try to confuse you.
Joking can be conversation as well.
That's just throws a smoke bomb at Dash's face.
I can't drive.
What did it
I would say safely by now you're reaching the end of the ice journey.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Yep.
You're doing good. You made excellent time because Dash took over and he doesn't know the first thing about riding horses, so it just went real fast. You guys are 8 hours in the wrong direction, but you're good.
I'm gonna say
You're back at Broader.
it's not there, but while Dash turns around to look at us, I'm just going, watch out for that tree, and see if he notices and craps himself.
Wait, hang on.
Iceberg.
So nat 20?
You're full of
That's
shit.
what you got a nat 20 on? What the hell? A random insight check to see if it made you out of... You could have just looked and seen if there was a tree.
But this feels cooler. I can just keep staring at her and just go.
What he doesn't know is it wasn't a tree, it was a rock, but I was still waiting for him to bump into it.
It's an iceberg. It rips open the side of the slart.
Yeah, it's an iceberg. Well, better speed up and go straight at it.
You feel a bump beneath the slart as you guys hit the snow, and you just keep going. The distance is hard to see. It's kind of... The snow isn't a dense snow, but the further out it goes, the more density it creates, and therefore it's hard to see where you're going in the long term, but you feel like you're going the right way, and for whatever reason, you all trust Dash to take you there.
Yeah, strange.
I'm going to lay back on the sleigh, and if I suppose whoever it is that's next to me, they'll see as the kind of that blue glow that comes from what is the eye holes in my mask just dim ever so slightly, and I'm going to check in with my little friend who's been above watching over us and see if he notices anything on the horizon that we should be aware of.
I'm so fucking tired. Help! Help! Yeah,
you've been drifting on the wind. You're fine.
Obvious dramatic. What can I say? Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a perception check with Albie. We have a token for Albie, don't we? We do.
Oh yeah, pets. There we go.
Oh,
Kid old LB.
that's stunning.
Oh, that's it. I'm done with D&D tonight. Good luck, guys. I'm just going to sit here and watch.
Is that a 5 for perception?
Wow.
Does Albie have advantage on perception? No, that's... What is Albie?
Even if he did, it's going to be a nat 1, let's be honest.
It's been
Albie
too
has
much time
mimicry,
fixated on that rock on the ice. That's all you can see from up there.
Not to worry. Albie can't see much, but again, it's probably more about density. But what's ahead of them, they can make out the road being clear, at least.
Okay, cool.
You do find a road, or Dash does, that kind of leads you in that direction. But over the course of the next hour or two, as you're traveling, you do notice that road begins to somewhat fade. You can tell that this is, so to speak, the road less traveled. The further you go along this way, the less people want to be here. Some of them divert off into different paths. You can tell people probably live out in the wild, or there's like camps or huts or different things. But for the most part, this is a long straight stretch. It's like driving like from Vegas to Arizona. It's just this one long ass road that just goes forever. It feels like that. Like it's the same thing just going past the cart and stuff, and you guys are in that mode now where it's, I'm sure all of you know from driving, it's just, it gets a bit like if we were in Rory's car, we'd be pumping 80s metal or something. Like
and I'd be living.
Rory Slart, sorry.
Rory Slart.
But it is yeah.
Wait, didn't we pass that tree 20 minutes ago? Dash, are you going the right way?
I don't know. I kind of had to pee and then I lost my way. I shouldn't have tried to pee while I was
You can't
driving
be
the car.
outside, Dash. The people freeze and don't worry.
Just
don't
hold
need the
the
yellow snow.
reins slightly unequally, so it's just got that slight turn. It's like doing massive circles.
Oh my god, he's
Almost
listed lazily to the
inseparable.
left.
Who did the alignment
got
in this
some
Slart?
I like, yeah. Like if it's Dash driving, the Slart's probably on like its side, like one fucking sled. Yeah.
Well, before we arrive at the destination, may I do a suggestion?
Of course.
Well, since we know we have to do with creatures that might be able to smell very good, I would suggest that Ayame and me go ahead to scout when we are like, I don't know, 3-4 miles away. Because they will smell you for sure.
Are you trying to suggest you have 0 scent?
Almost, yeah.
Now that is something I would love to know how. Not now, obviously.
Oh, it's because the Voos breed.
Ah,
That's
so there is actually...
why I have such a diet, like... So I have an advantage.
Honestly, I just thought your taste buds were quite bland, but okay.
I remember Hatsu
It's the
actually
whole
saying
purpose.
that a long time ago. Something you didn't want to eat onions, right? I think is what you said in like session somewhere in the top 10, because you refused to like put out a scent and stuff. Yeah.
So when we can get an advantage, they will have a harder time smelling Ayam and me, and we could scout ahead and maybe leave a mark for them so they know who we are.
Sounds good. But I think we're, what, a day away? What is it by your estimations on the map, Slate?
Well, it's been a couple of hours. We've just crossed the lake. Can't be too far before it becomes apparent exactly where we are on the map. But it can't be too far.
Can I request something? Can you please change out that form? Feels like I should be locked up just for talking to you.
Yeah, it doesn't go with the voice either.
I mean, change back. Make stretch. Oh God.
I like to think that as he changes back, because he was in that form for so long, there's that like bone crack. There's like, it's a really like jagged thing. Like one arm is longer than the other first. Like it's like a slow transformation.
Even when he fully transforms, there's just one pigtail.
So like he stays there, but he's got like a what's her name, Helga or something from Hey Arnold, like pigtails
Yeah,
sticking out
yeah.
on one side.
Tap and it goes away.
It is it's not necessarily getting dark, but it is getting towards that point of about 4 or 5 p.m. as you guys are reaching what would be a rather large tree line. The trees here, first it begins with like a couple of trees passing you, and then suddenly just more and more and more. And these are like proper trees. These aren't like the trees from way before where they were burnt out or anything like that. This is just a proper forest. What's weird though is that by your estimation it would be 3-4 p.m. but it's getting dark, like nighttime dark.
Maybe we should make camp outside of the tree line for the evening.
I can see perfectly well.
Yeah, I can see okay as well.
Happy to go ahead then if you are.
Eos will spend a few minutes. She's going to crumple up some tea leaves in her hand, slowly rubbing it to heat it up. And she's going
Atsu
to
just loses shit.
and she's going to specifically kind of rub it into her scarf.
Okay.
The purpose for this is simply if she is to be picked up by some creature, she wants to smell friendly, pleasant.
Unless they really hate peppermint.
Unless you really hate pepper for some reason. I don't know. Yeah. But that's the purpose of this, and that's what she's doing. She heard what Hatsu said, and she's interpreting it this way.
That's right. Yeah, Eos is perfectly entitled to have her own interpretations of everything. And I like that one. That's good. Yami just looks at her like head tilted like a dog. Just like, what is happening? Yeah.
In my mind, Eos is going full ham on like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like scrub shower, like
Yeah. Like a hamster.
Wait, did Eos invent body lotion?
Rituals by Eos.
And like Eos is going to start perfecting this and turn these into like soap, and then like we're going to get liquid soaps and stuff. Yeah, you're right. That is weird. That's what's beginning here. Yeah.
Lip balm, you name it.
Eos for men.
That's like
Or
your
other
inspiration. That was
species.
good. I like that. All right.
From the information we have and the local knowledge, the map, etc., and then obviously we've now gone off the beaten track and we're in that vicinity at the edge of the tree line, etc. As strangers in a place, about to go into this forest or whatever it is there anything of note in terms of the map? Like a mountain that comes above the tree line and we go, oh, that's over to our left. Yeah, that should be on the left on the map. Is there like a river, a waterfall, or anything that we go, oh, well, we don't know where we are now, but if we should, while we're going through the forest, it looks like there's a river, so we should come across the river, and that will give us an idea we're heading in the right direction. Like any kind of landmark, if you will.
There are, according to your map, there are hills that are between the forest and the place you're trying to get to. So if you reach the hills, then you're almost there. That would be the indication. But those hills are deep into the forest. They're not just they're not quite visible from this far out, let's call it.
Perfect.
So it becomes like almost midnight, like dark. It still should be maybe 5, 6 at this point, but you see the moon in the sky and the clouds are like open and the moon is just shining down deep into the forest, but it's just like it shouldn't be. It's daytime. Like this should be daytime. Everything about this feels weird. Like we've all had our gaming sessions where you looked at the window and realized it's like 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be what's happening here.
What does it look like above the trees?
It looks like dark, like nighttime. Like it really, like for all intents and purposes, like it's just night, late. The moon is much higher than you'd expect.
Tree line.
That is above the tree line, yeah. Like that's up to the sky.
Oh right, okay. So it's not the tree line causing the darkness.
No, up to the sky. Clouds are out. Moon is visible, but it shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Okay.
So that's one of those like the Aurora Borealis, located exactly in your kitchen. One of those.
Can I see? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Eos just ponders and stares at the moon for a while, just soaking it in.
Any sounds? Not just from like big creatures, but is there little creatures? Is there like deer? Is there bears? Or is it just dead silent?
Honey badgers.
I would love a perception check.
Like, basically, have the wildlife been pushed out of this area, or at least scared of the area?
That was so close to a 20. 18's good though. There's wildlife here. Like deers, odd rabbits, even creatures you've never seen before. There are birds. Especially as you're going through the trees now, you're in the point of like the beginning part of this forest. It's like, yeah, the further into the density you go, the more creatures you're seeing. Now they are clearing the path for you, like they're not staying in front of you. You're not going to like mow into a deer or something, but they are around, and you would be able to pick that up certainly with your perception. Yeah.
Okay, so they've not been driven out of the area.
If anything, there's more here than you've seen in the entire time you've been on this entire island.
Yeah, so it seems like it's a like a kaleidoscopic. Yeah, I can't think of the right word, but basically, like, this is a good place for them to live, kind of thing. It's almost like it's part of the family circle.
Ecosystem is thriving.
Yeah, ecosystem. That's the one.
But like a national park or something.
Like a Jurassic Park. They do exist in D&D.
Jurassic Park.
Oh no, where's Dave? Is he?
I'm ready for that one shot. Give me an island. Let's go. Get me Hammond. Yeah, I mean, as you push up to the tree line, there's a sudden slowdown. Like, I say tree line, sorry, you've gone past that point. But as you get to the density, the more dense the forest gets, the more difficult it becomes to maneuver. And there's a clear slowdown. Dash, you're finding it harder and harder to navigate until a point where you can't. The horses are unwilling to proceed.
Eos, can you try and coax these horses? They don't seem to want to move any further.
Sure. Okay. Park it up for a second.
Sure.
Eos hops down. It's cold. And she heads up to the lead horse. And she just slowly pats the mane up to the ear, rubs behind the ear. She's trying to get a vibe check, an animal handling check specifically.
You will have an animal handling check. You will also have an advantage because of your, I would say you're proficient with horses. We'll call it that. So I'm going to give you advantage for that. You already have your proficiency on it as far as I know.
I do.
So advantage makes more sense.
Please, dice gods.
You got a double nat 20. Is that right?
20 and a 2.
A 22. On my screen, it was like talked on the 20. I think I got it. Oh, it was crazy. Well, I got a nat 20 for a total of 21. The horses are still unwilling to move, but they do calm down. Good. But you understand why it's a thing more so than them being afraid of the forest. It's more practicality. They just can't. There's no clear path for them to move here. They can't keep persisting forward. It's not that there's a wall of trees, but the density is unlike anything you guys have seen outside of Ouroboros.
Okay.
Eos and Hatsu, you would see places like this sometimes in your travels, for sure. More so Hatsu, actually, leaning into that. Sorry, apologies, Eos. More so Hatsu, because you did actually travel through Ouroboros a little bit. You would have seen density like this, but that's like this. Nothing like this has been on this island before. This is incredible tree density.
Hatsu looks at Ayame and he nods. And they scatter out into...
She hops off on the opposite side of the car.
Tonight. Naruto sprint.
Just reminds me of the Dave Chappelle crackhead joke. It's like a crackhead runs back. Yeah, so Ayame hops off on one side and Hatsu hops off on the other.
They actively looking for tracks and stuff they would pick up that looks suspicious towards the things they're looking for.
Okay. I'm going to get several checks from you here. So I'm getting 3 specifically, and you'll have advantage on all 3. The first one is going to be investigation. The second one is going to be perception. And the final one is survival.
So, investigation is a 6, perception is an 18, and survival is a 21.
Okay. So you investigate to see if there's anything that might stand out to you as weird. Something that you can even kind of follow up with, or maybe just something that doesn't belong. Something that Hatsu is quite good at doing is finding the piece of the puzzle that doesn't fit. Everything looks relatively normal. Like there's nothing strange or out of place. But as you take the time to sort of not just look around, but look up and perceive any changes in the elements or anything that might, or in the environment, I should say, rather than the elements, that stands out to you. The trees are normal, but again, the moon is just beaming down, and there's just something really bothering you about that. Like, you have lived a long life, especially paying attention to things like the phases of the moon and respecting that kind of part of nature. This is too early, and this isn't the right lunar cycle. This shouldn't be a full moon. Last thing you check for is tracks. Anything that stands out. You find deer tracks. You find, like, smaller things, like the smallest little paw prints from rabbits and things that stand out, like foxes or badgers and things that might live here. Arctic variants, but they are here. Even bird, like, nests long gone that have fallen out of the trees and stuff. Everything looks normal. You lean down and you're clearing off some of the debris, and you place your hand down, and next to it is a paw print that is much larger than the size of your hand. Probably a few days old at this point, but something that stands out. You can see that these tracks have been used several times by whatever this creature may be.
He kind of looks in the direction where he would assume Ayame would go to look for stuff, and he would make some hand signs to make her understand that he has something.
She moves over, and there's not even a crick of a stick or any leaves rustle crunch beneath her, same as you. It's just silence as you both move.
So from that point on, they would follow the tracks, but as stealthy, as silent as possible.
You follow the tracks, and they lead in multiple directions. It's clearly, if you were to use your best guess, this looks very akin to a patrol route.
Mm-hmm.
The tracks lead deeper into the forest. Eventually, what you would assume is in that direction would lead to Hartwell. But it would be a far journey. The density of the tracks would start to disperse, and the distance between them would start to spread, going from what would be a walk to a run.
Okay, so he would give Ayame a sign to stop, and he would lead her back to the place where there's like a knot point where the most tracks accumulate, and they could kind of figure out, okay, here must be a patrol point where they kind of meet each other, an intersection, yeah. And he's gonna pull out of his backpack. What does he actually pull out? Let me check. Something from Remington.
Ayame kneels down, and she takes a dagger, and she just cuts out around one of the large paw prints, and she sort of digs it out of the dirt so that she can bring it back and show the group the size of what they're dealing with.
So, he doesn't find any form of paper or something, but he has Remington's staff still in the backpack. So he's gonna pull out Remington's staff and leans it towards the tree. And he also finds some ink and an ink pen in the backpack. And he would like write down Remington on the tree, and would like also make the sign of the crescent pearl.
Okay.
And then he would lead Ayame back to the Slate where the others are.
Okay. As they get back, and they're revealing their findings, Ayami will also, whenever Hatsu wants to reveal the findings, Ayami will support that with the thing she dug up.
Well then, Ayame, tell him what we did see.
There were culprits, and they're rather large. She sort of puts this thing down on the ground in front of you all, so that you can see kind of together. Yeah.
Any signs of their direction?
It looked like a patrol route, maybe a hunting route, something the like. But it's still far, far away. To reach their, what would you call it? Their hut,
Village?
maybe.
Sanctum.
Sanctum,
I think.
mansion,
Ben.
I don't know. Then we left a message not far away from here. I assume that they will patrol these ways again. And I would suggest we just wait for them to make a move, because it's not our territory.
Hatsu, which direction was the path that you're following?
Oh, northwest.
Okay. Eos takes out her rapier, and with the compass, she looks at it. She's trying to align where we are in relation to that direction, so she has an idea if we need to come back, which way to point the compass.
Cool.
Thank you, Hatsu.
By the way, that moon doesn't look natural.
It's
I
beautiful,
think
isn't it?
it might be interesting to investigate magical properties, but I'm not good at that.
I can take a look.
So bright.
And Eos.
DM, could I try?
Oh, see why not? Yeah, you can roll an Arcana check. 7 is appropriate. Looks like a moon to you. I don't know. You've seen the moon. This is definitely a moon.
I always thought the moon was quite magical.
If that was a
It was-
moon, you would know that's no moon. But this is a moon.
Definitely a moon.
I'll do this similar.
Yeah.
Arcana.
This is not the moon we know, or the moons we know.
So your suggestion, Hatsu, is that we, make camp and wait for them to come to us?
Hi.
18.
Slate? I believe you're, at this point, probably itching to set up some alarms around us, so, why don't you, do your thing?
On
Yeah.
it.
Go ahead.
Starts taking his bell out and strings and bits and bobs.
You work your way around Eos, who's kneeling and kind of working things out. She's just drawing lines in the dirt and the snow. And she's trying to figure things, sort of the trajectory of things, if that makes sense. She has her compass just laid down beside her. Not only does it not make sense for this to be like the moon at all, just through the actual time of day, it makes no sense. Second of all, the full moon is not in phase, not even remotely. But also, while you're doing all of these lines of trajectories, what you do work out is that the moon itself is not moving. Typically, over a period of time, the moon would move across the sky as planets rotate and things change, but this lunar phase and lunar cycle are permanently fixed in place.
So,
Hi.
it doesn't move.
I know it's weird, right?
You know a lot about space and astral things. Do you believe this might be a projection or some kind of a...
Oh, this is not real. I'm pretty sure.
Correct.
But
Is it a magical
I thought
projection or a
maybe
technological
they
projection?
must be friends with Remington, and if they have a hard time being themselves amongst these hostile cities, they might have installed something to make it really their home. If that makes sense. I only know Remington that can do things like that, who you know more about things like these. Is it possible to create a realm in a realm? Kinda.
Possible. But I'm thinking, you know the toy with the candle in the center, and if you spin it, a little light show of a horse galloping. What if they could project light into the sky?
And then what?
That wouldn't change whether the sun or the nighttime come over.
And the werewolf only comes out when the moon is full.
So are you saying that someone's projecting a moon so that the werewolves will stay as they are?
It's a guess. We've seen what happened to Gorebound. What other tricks can the people who make boats that hum and sing? Men in jars.
From a strategic perspective, if I would have such abilities, I would like to make sure that I can use these abilities. And if they can only use it in the full moon, it makes sense to project a full moon to be able to defend yourself. Correct?
Yeah. After raising a little army of werewolves.
Robot.
Or a little leggy.
Robot, has there been any... Because usually these kinds of things we'll all hear about, but as like children's fables, children's stories. Oh, there's this magical land where it's night all the time and there's creatures that are evil and blah, 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 blah. Is there been, from the recollections of my child and stuff, have I ever heard of any of these kinds of things? Whether it be from passing traders or...
So I've thought a lot about this when I was creating the Wandering Isles, and I was like what extent of our lore and legend and mythos goes across? And I would argue pretty much all of it. There's always some variant of like a vampire or werewolf, or of like these kind of mythological creatures, or lore-based creatures or whatever that seem to exist, and multiple cultures had them, so I think it's fair to say that we had them too. What you guys know personally about these things, I would say, transcends to your characters, just because that makes it a bit more interesting, and it saves a lot of, well, do werewolves like moons? Like, is that a thing? So we'll skip past that part of like the ignorance of the characters, and I'll say that when it comes to any of those, like the big infamous, the mummies and the vampires and the werewolves and those kinds of things that I fucking love, by the way, what you know is what you know.
Okay, but there's been no specifics given to us particular to this situation where it's like,
Kind of Narnia, kind of.
Yeah, I heard the moon was
That's
created
why
by a giant lantern, and I heard the moon was this, and...
Well, there's
That's why
technically...
we did send out Dash to get more information about these tales.
There are two moons.
She ignored.
There are two moons. One of them is broken, but the story behind why it's broken, multiple people believe multiple things. So in that sense, if there was something you knew about that, I did include it in packs. So that would be up to the player part. But in terms of like the actual significance of what's happening here, if that was something that's ever been discussed, even on your journey here, nobody mentioned that it's perpetual night here, or that the lunar phase is stuck here. People who come here tend not to come back, or if they do, they don't come back the same. So it's definitely something that's not discussed. Remington would have been the only person who technically on this path so far could have given you any indication, and whatever he gave you was in the letter that was provided. This is definitely, as far as I'm concerned, something that was not mentioned. Or if it was super in passing.
No, wasn't mentioned, pretty sure.
I recall some reference to moon, alright, but I can't remember the entire context. That's both Dash and Kian speaking.
There's a lot of references to the moon throughout this campaign. You've got the Crimson Moon and Blood Moon, whichever one you want to call it. The Crescent Pearl itself is a moon, a crescent moon shape. And now you're dealing with this lunar activity as well, which is strange. There are just parallels of the moon a lot as well. But me personally, I just like the moon, so it could just be that too. I wouldn't read too much into it.
To be
Sounds
sure,
like something we should read a lot into then.
Hatsu would
Read into
pull
it as
out the
much as you'd
letter
like
from
to.
Remington,
Yeah, go ahead.
and yeah.
As you all are asserting different parts of this, trying to rummage through notes, books, anything, kind of discussing it, voicing it, deep in the distance, you just...
Sorry, it's my stomach.
Direction.
would be westerly, probably southwest.
Do you think that was a sentry alert or just a general shout?
I think our smell has been smelt on the winds. Well, maybe not Hatsu's.
I mean, if they know we're here, I don't see the reason why we don't light a fire. It's warmer. I can't see too well without it anyway, so I'm biased. But, I mean...
I think that's a good idea. But let's not use any of these trees, eh? We use what we brought, I think.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You said you left a message for him, Hatsu. Would it be worth doing a scribbling of that on the trees around us, so that at least if they do come near, they'll hopefully have some recognition to it?
Oh, they will smell when they find the first note.
Okay. Yeah, let's get a fire going then.
But I think before we further proceed, I might have a quick chat with Remington.
Okay.
So he would pull out the telestone.
Oh yeah.
You traitor, you used one.
Now they know where you are. 5G has hacked your bloodstream and all sorts of things.
It's reading your blood pressure.
What we'll do here, Busy, if it's okay, we'll hit pause. We'll come back straight in with the Remington thing. But if we take a little break, that'd be great, because all of my teacups are empty, and I need peppermint to fuel myself and really get the vibe, Smell Eos for the rest of the session.
Whoa, that's a bit weird.
Eos for men.
Eos fermented.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Eos Baleen.
Oh my lord almighty. Cut the break, cut the break, cut the break.
Just pushing for those, those sponsors. We'll cut to break. What we'll do is we'll have a wee bit of a boss battle in chat. We'll set that up now, and we'll have a prediction. And if you have any questions and stuff, make sure you let us know for the post show this evening. We'll have a little post show after the stream as well, but stick with us. Long way to go until we get there. We shall be. Woo! We are back.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Thank you for waiting with us. Sorry, that was a little longer than usual. We will be picking up here from Mr. Hatsu speaking to Remington.
Whirling Shadow to Crescent Pearl. Whirling Shadow.
Oh, yes. Hello. Hello, Whirling Shadow. Over.
Hello. I just want to make a status update, if you don't mind.
Of course. What can I do for you, Master Shadow?
We reached the tree lines towards the target, and we encountered a strange area phenomenon where the sky almost looked like it's in like a bubble and doesn't represent reality. There's always a shining moon, full moon. That is not natural, in my opinion, because it doesn't represent the real moons and the real moon phases, and it's always dark in there. Is that normal?
Yes, Master Hatsu, that would be normal. It is a feature of Hardwell.
That's what I thought. So make your terrain your territory under your conditions. Understand?
Yeah.
I think they already approaching us. Ayam and me, we left a message with your odor, if that makes sense.
Just, tread carefully and with respect.
We do.
These are creatures of great honor, so...
We left a message and we waited on the outskirts of their territory. We now wait until they approach us. I think this is the right move, sir.
Yes, well, if this is the right move, then this is the right move. My faith is with you. I believe you will do the right thing. If you have any questions or problems, just call.
Understand. Just for the record, Amy is back.
That's good to hear. I hope she's doing well.
Have you any further information about our last situation we talked about? That entity that might have possessed a person and exploded in fire?
I haven't found out too much in terms of these things, but I have people investigating for me. There's not much to really go on. The library, although in meticulous order, doesn't have a lot of information on this specific entity.
Do you want us to gather more information on our way back?
If you wish to, you can. I think possibly it's better that I send somebody out to investigate first, in which case it's easier for you guys to use the Heartstone to come home.
Don't bring the target in danger, Roger.
Well, just, it might be you in danger. I'd rather not see that happen.
Oh yeah, Dash might be in danger. I accept that. But for future references, it might be helpful, since we encountered that entity once, that you might send us back here. We also made some friends, I think.
Well, allies are always important. It's always good to have. It's always good to have friends, but just make sure that you're keeping them safe as well. We'll investigate this. We will send somebody and we will see what we need to do from here. But I would leave that out of your hands if that's all right. It's a lot more serious than it initially may have seemed.
Domo arigatou gozaimashita, Sensei. I will report when we done.
Very well. Well.
Over.
Over and out. Roger. Biscuits.
He
Hatsu.
puts the stone back into the bag very carefully and precisely.
Hatsu?
And he sits down to drink a tea. Well, yes.
Who's Roger?
Well, don't ask questions you don't want the answers for.
I don't want... Who's Roger?
Who's who?
I thought you were talking to Remington.
Who said that?
I assumed from your tone.
I have to talk to Eos real quick. Just bear with me for a moment. I'll be back. And he moves over to Eos.
That's
Well, I just wanted to let you know that this sky is a feature of that place, as I assumed. So it's an artificial kind of area. So it must be some magical, I don't know. But it's definitely not natural, but it's supposed to be there, as Remington said.
okay. That's incredible. Such power.
We should wait for them to contact us, I think.
Perfect. Thank you, Hatsu.
Thank you.
Eos takes off her gloves and she kind of sits back a bit and she's trying to like soak in the rays of the moon. She's trying to embrace its energy. So she like meditates for a while effectively. Facing towards the moon.
Hatsu would also move over to Madriana and Slate. He would kind of gather them, like a little huddle. No? Well, I already told Eos that Remington said the night sky here is a feature of that area to keep those folks safe and comfortable. So just that you know, we're on the right path. And I think the way we do it is also right. Remington had nothing to say against it. He just said we should be careful because they're very honorable and honor-driven creatures.
So don't tell them it's the biggest nightlight I've ever seen. Got it.
I think don't try to intimidate them or something the like. And don't stare at them, I guess.
Honor comes in many different ways, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's like pack honor, I guess. It's a little different.
Trust me, I'm more creature than you think. And she just gives you a smile.
You're not the only one, I guess.
So I guess we camp out and wait for them to come?
Yes, sir. It's their house. We should wait for an invitation.
Absolutely nothing I can say to disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's dark, so in terms of camping, talk to me. What are you doing?
I just realized. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, we suggested earlier that we might light a fire but not use the wood from the trees, use the wood that we brought, because we reckon they knew where we were and they were going to come to us anyway. And I had said that I'm not great with darkness. So I think there'd be the sled, there'd be a campfire, and then, maybe some semblance of whichever is easiest or biggest, a tent or something, for a modicum of comfort, privacy. This is what we do when we camp, keep us busy kind of thing. For me, the only one thing I'd like to do different is just take a couple of pieces of those wood and create, when hunters hunt deers, they make a tree stand. All it is a post like that comes out of the tree and a couple of planks like that so you can stand on it. That's it.
Yep.
After the preparations are starting and stuff, Hatsu would move over to Dash and he would go, well, I'm sorry. It's a bit later than I thought it would. I just wanted to let you know something. Whatever happens, don't talk to them. At all. All right?
That would seem very disrespectful.
No. Talking might be very disrespectful. Don't talk. Whatever happens.
So if nobody talks and we just stand there and stare at them...
Don't stare at them either. Don't stare. Don't talk.
So stand there in silence. And if these...
Don't make hectic moves.
I would never do that anyway, but why would we... If these folks direct questions our way, are we just going to stand there in silence?
No.
So, speak when spoken to?
Nope.
Don't speak at all when spoken to.
You don't speak at all.
That sounds like it might antagonize most... Someone's there asking you questions and you're refusing to answer, and they're just like, answer my question, and you just refuse.
They won't talk to you. I promise.
What if they don't talk to any of us?
Then none of us will have to worry.
So if it is, let's say, a gore-bound situation
where...
where...
accept my question? Why don't you just accept?
Why would I accept your instruction without questioning? I don't follow blindly.
You don't have to follow me. Just walk in, talk to them. Go ahead.
How about I approach it my way and you approach it your way?
Well, you can do that, but then you gotta leave.
What if it's like a gore-bound situation?
I wish you the best of luck. Was a pleasure to know you. Arigato.
You distrust me, Atsu.
This almost sounds like a situation like previously when somebody bet somebody they could get in behind a door for gold. It's almost as if there was an opportunity to do something like that again before this happens. Weird.
No.
Well, you lose again.
While that's happening, I'm going to be just tapping on my dagger and Taki Talk so that Madriana and probably Lissa would pick it up and just ask, are you ready to tell us about your journey yet?
Me? I suppose I should offer some explanation. What I thought was my...
To clarify, are you speaking out loud? Because I said it in Taki Talk, so you have the option.
She's saying it out loud, because she knows she needs to tell everyone. My father requested my appearance. Usually, if something like what happened with the portal happens, it's because it's something to do with my mother. Some worry. This time, however, it wasn't. That was why I felt such urgency. This time, however, my father wanted me to infiltrate a sacred site. Let's just say, and with as much information as I have as well, didn't go well. I didn't get in. My father learned of nothing. That almost scares me worse because this is somewhere he has been dying to get to for way too long. So I don't know what he's about to do to try and get there.
This sacred site, is it something that is known or...
No.
Huh.
As as I understand it, there is about 6 people in this world that knows where it is. One of which is sitting here with you.
Just to clarify, you mean you, right?
And I certainly wasn't talking about you.
Yeah, I figured. And what did he hope to gain from it? Knowledge or gold?
Oh,
Or power?
when you have all the money and all the power you could ever want, what do you require?
A way to keep it?
A way to keep it forever.
Then in Tacky Talk again, Dash will just add, then I hope the fucker doesn't get it.
And she'll reply, why do you think I said nothing?
Dash just smirks a little.
At the end of the day, I was unable to infiltrate it, and it seems like I was pretty much his last option. So, who knows, maybe he'll move on.
And what did we learn, Dash? Sometimes you win if you just don't talk.
Not a lesson I needed to learn.
Essentially, I failed at my task. But quite honestly, I don't think it was a task that was ever meant for me. When the right person takes on the task, it shall happen.
Was it dangerous?
I certainly had injuries relating from it. Nothing ongoing. Don't worry yourself, Dash. But you know yourself, you never come out of these things quite as cleanly as you wish.
I understand completely.
This is... And she looks around the whole group. This place. It's not a king's vault. It's not a secret vault in a secret school. This is where gods and heroes go to die.
That sounds intriguing.
That sounds interesting. I've been at a place where gods try to rest. Have you seen a bee?
Like a honey bee?
But that one is beautiful and golden.
No. I don't think so.
I'm happy to hear that.
Okay. And you'll see though you won't see, but like, there's a
I feel her confusion.
Yeah, it's not just confusion, but this is probably one of the very few things that Hatsu has ever said that's actually given her a bit of a chill. Like, should I be fucking worried about golden bees? And if I see one now, am I gonna die? Like, what the fuck is that about? I'll keep an eye out for your golden bee if I see it.
Hmm. Oh, the bee is more like... It's not an omen or something. It's more like a wink that you have been seen and heard. A little bit like chicken, I guess. Where is chicken, actually? And he looks over to Slate.
Lifts up his hood. Anytime it's cold, if you can't find him, he's either here or he's gone to get chicken. You know how it is.
Chicken is also a symbol of being seen and heard, I'm pretty sure.
Well, if that is the case, let's hope your bee didn't see where I was gone.
Oh, she saw you when you were there. I'm pretty sure about that.
Well, let's hope she doesn't hold it against me then.
She would never. She honors the ones that hold things in honor.
Is it honorable to go somewhere you're not wanted, even if you hold that information from those that truly want it? I don't think so.
It's not about what you did. It's about what you did after you did it. Your actions speak more words, I guess. And if it's the way you think, you probably would have been punished for it immediately.
I'll take that.
Well, I'm gonna prepare the arriving of our friends, I guess.
On that, is there any sounds of movement, howling, snarling, breathing, anything that would be nondescript to the regular sounds we've been listening to?
You can give me an active perception check. Holy moly. Oh, Hatsu put the, the note in chat. Gotcha. Didn't even see chat until there. I was like, wow.
God damn it.
13. Not at the moment. Doesn't sound like it.
Good. I was just going to ask if I could also...
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you want to roll for it, you can. 9?
Yeah, 9.
I don't even think you know where you are, man.
I perceive snow. It's all white.
It's all white.
I think after a while, you would see Hatsu moving a little bit in the direction that he came from with Ayame.
Yep.
A little bit away from the camp. And he would form like a circle. And he would draw like a yin-yang in it, as he usually does if he wants to symbolize balance. And right in the center of it, he would kind of kneel down with his arm up a little bit and bow down like a little bit. And ever so often he would silently whisper, "Name is Toshitsugu. Hatsu was sent by Remington to meet Mr. Wait, I have to look it up again. Sorry.
It's okay. It's Wolver.
Wolver. Yeah. And he would like, in a specific rhythm, he would repeat that ever so often.
In the meantime, Eos has been staring towards the moon. She's pretty much just studying it. She's looking at the shape, the way it glistens, everything. And while this happens, she's becoming more and more comfortable with her surroundings. She's already taken off her gloves. She's lowering the hood. She's letting the ears out, let them breathe in the air a bit. She's embracing the element that she's in at the moment. This is a nice moment for her.
First around Eos, you hear and you just sort of try to bat it away. And you see a small insect flying around your head. Gold and black stripes. It moves around you. And then it moves around Hatsu. He seems to hear it and acknowledge it, though it doesn't seem to be vying for his attention. Rather than being part of his ecosystem. As he focuses, it too seems to be guiding him. And Hatsu, when you open your eyes and look towards where the bee appears to be going, for a split second you see a figure move between the trees. Something you were meant to notice. Maybe not by the creature, but you were meant to notice.
And he would slightly raise his head. And he would go, "We want to honor your house. Are we allowed to move further?"
There's no response. There's not even the sound of anyone really being there. But it's possible that that in itself is an answer. Eos. There's something that stands out to you in this moment as you pray to the moon and as you communicate and as you open yourself to that level of like back and forth with the natural surroundings. You feel the cold beneath you. You hear the leaves and feel the chill as a breeze moves past you, but you also feel the warmth from the moon. The same warmth you would always feel.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you. There's no sense of response to Eos, but she's just longing for more. She's after getting that little connection now. She wants to dive into it mentally.
Slate. You watch as Eos prays, you watch as Hatsu does whatever the fuck Hatsu does. And there's a flash for you. You see a beautiful building. Something you have never seen, to your recollection anyway. And in it are people kneeling, similar to Eos in meditation, and similar to Hatsu in focus. Several of them dressed quite similarly to Hatsu. It's nice here. The air is heavier, dense. There's a sweet smell in the air. As you glance out the window, you see these beautiful trees surrounding a wall with pink blossoms that rain from them. With that, you open your eyes and you realize you sort of dozed off. Not necessarily into sleep, but more akin to a trance.
Having, I suppose, been, we'll call it, under the influence, but also unwillingly under the influence of things, medications, serums, different things over the years, would I feel like that was something that was in my control, like, you know, something that feels comfortable like a dream, or like a, oh, hold on a minute, something is wrong here, like I feel uneasy about that?
You get the feeling that you were in a place of worship, so with that comes a sense of serenity. The glance out the window brought a sense of comfort, something familiar. A place you've been to, perhaps even just something you've heard from stories, it's hard to tell. This was different to what you've had in the past, but it was definitely something that felt like it was reaching to you, to your mind, to your essence, to your soul. Something beyond what makes Slate, but rather than possibly what makes Elias.
My lost cousin.
I think I would sit in contemplation and try to manifest or generate or repeat in some way what I thought I was doing when that happened before. You know, trying not to chase it away, trying to see if it happens again, trying to remain still, just trying to be in the moment and kind of be all encompassed in that for the next couple of minutes.
I'm going to get you to make... I'm going to get you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Dirty 20.
Suddenly you're brought back again to the same space. You hear the words they're saying, and they're speaking in a language that you don't recognize, but one that's familiar to you. You've heard Hatsu speak it before. You turn and you open the door. Suddenly it's raining. The streets are dark. There's a different energy here. You don't see trees of pink or walls or smell that sweet smell. You smell filth. You smell something like steel. You see people accosting each other in the streets. But it feels normal for this place as you push your hood further over your head as you keep walking. You approach a tall building. As you look up towards it, lightning flashes across the sky. As you enter, you place a bag on the table. You hear your own voice, though you don't recognize the way it sounds, the timbre to it. Even the rhythm and way it speaks is different to you. This is our offering to Bloodstone. You step back out the doorway into the streets, and you hear them take the large sack and put it away. You make your way further down the street until it fades to nothingness, and once again you're in the same space you were.
I would take out my little pocketbook and try and capture as much as the detail and the vividness of what I felt, heard, saw, and just try and put it all down to memory, put it into the book, something I can lean on, return to, share with, and I'll just be frantically scribbling into the book.
Mm-hmm. Anything I told you, you're able to capture with ease. These are things that are fresh in your mind. The ink is still drying on that paper.
I think I would just be happy to be alone at the moment as such, letting everyone do whatever they're doing. I don't think I'd be particularly sociable. I think having had this feeling, this vision, this trance, epiphany, whatever it is that's hit me, that's possibly unlocking some lost memories or something, it would definitely be all-encompassing and bringing back that feeling of when I opened the book first, when I got that flood, that first hit, feeling like I've got something I'm missing. But again, I feel like I have jigsaw pieces, but none of them are corners. I'm looking to try and put them into perspective of where it goes with others, and none of them make sense.
As you sort of contemplate everything, the window closes. The opportunity for more would be more overwhelming to you than anything. But as time moves on, you're getting this feeling that the fractures in your mind are beginning to heal. For the good or for the bad. Well, that requires contemplation. But there is just a sense of, as you said, the same sort of high that you chased from the book that spoke to you and brought you on the first leg of this journey through your mind. There's a sense of familiarity there, like it's trying to show you something else. Like it's time to show you something else. There is a closeness to that book that feels like, since you met it, the journey of reparations and the journey of remembering who you are has really, really begun. There's an overwhelming sense and almost a fear that if you separate yourself from this book for too long, that will stop. This book holds answers, and this might be the only way to get them. And with that, you feel your thumb move off of the book. Not that you knew it was ever there. You close your bag and look towards the group once again. It took a lot of focus for you to even realize what you were doing. Something that might stick with you in future.
I think having that realization that that's possibly where it's come from, but that I did that subconsciously or unknowingly, I think I would be equal parts terrified and really excited. I think I would be feeling a little overwhelmed. Like I said, equal parts excited and equal parts terrified about the idea of getting completely lost in that.
Yeah. With that, Hatsu, I mean, it's difficult to say, but you feel like the trees are just slightly further apart because for some reason, the cart may just fit down this path after all. You're almost sure that it didn't. Now you're pretty sure that it could.
He would raise up. He would bow down. And he would, like, with a kind of louder voice, so the others would hear that, he would say, "Domo arigatou gozaimashita." And he would bow down like he normally does, as a form of respect. And he would move back to the group. And he would say, "Well, we've been invited. So, if you need rest, we should rest now and move as soon as possible."
How long have we been traveling?
We can travel some more. I'm ready if you are, Hatsu.
Happy to go anytime.
Are we all good to go?
I'm good to go.
Eos gets up.
Start kicking out the fire and, putting it away and putting out the embers and all of that, getting us ready to move.
She puts on the glove, but she keeps the hood down.
Well, let's go.
Would you mind if I would ride the sleigh?
As in drive it? Doesn't bother me.
And he would sit up front with Ayame to kind of see if that path is... He assumes it's guarded. Left, right, he kind of wants to assume, like, how many and stuffs the like. That would give him, like, a tactical advantage if shit hits the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he would ride keep the horses not running, decently slow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a
So
small,
to grasp more of the surroundings towards where they're heading.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Do we have any feeling or sight, smell, anything of we're being escorted?
Make a perception check for me. If anyone wants to assist before, not after.
Sure.
I would say Hatsu's also on the lookout anyway, so that might fit into it.
Perfect, yeah. Not a natty?
Nat 20 for Dash.
Not 20 for a total 19 for Dash. Perfect. 19 and 16.
I'm really tempted to burn that inspo just so he can't beat me.
Madriana, you don't sort of see anything in terms of guidance, but this path is very fortuitous. Dash, though you can't explain why, there's the faintest flicker and shimmer of gold that sometimes just hits the moonlight perfectly. Just something small.
Is it something I can pick up?
It's floating ahead of you rather than tangibly sitting on the ground or on anything. It's just beyond the horses themselves.
I'll just kind of move to the front of the horses and see if I can get a better look.
Yeah, if you want to investigate it, you can.
Sure. Yeah.
$18.
18.
You're not 100%, but you would swear that's a fucking bee. You've never seen one glow like that, though.
I'll just kind of look up to Hatsu and Ayame.
Mm-hmm.
I think I caught a glimpse of that wink you mentioned.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It's. I'm going to quickly take out my book and kind of sketch as best as I could what I saw.
I just want to tell you something that you might oversee. I trusted you with my life when we were in the city and we couldn't roam around like you. You took control because you was the one that was the best for the job, and I would never have questioned it. So please, some things aren't easy to explain, but I wouldn't ever ask for something that would harm you or your girlfriend. So please, respect her.
So I was always going to take your lead here. There was never a question of it.
But sometimes there is no times for arguing. Just remember that.
Doesn't need to be an argument. But don't talk to me like I don't know better.
You don't know better, that's why I do it. And if I don't know better, you do it. Simple as that.
You presume much, Mr. Toshitsugu. Like I said,
Oh,
I follow your lead. I just kind of bow slightly to him and let them carry on ahead.
You reach sort of what would be considered another impasse. Not by tree or by blockade, but by hill. It is simply too steep to ascend with this specific setup.
Hatsu will make the horses go slower, and he would like raise a fist to kind of signalize stop.
Right.
Well, I guess we gotta walk from here.
It would be cruel to make them climb that hill.
I'm pretty sure they can't, that's why the hill is there.
Yeah.
Should we unhook them from the cart so they can roam at least?
Do we have long rope? I wouldn't want
we
them to
have.
wander into danger.
But we can just let them here. No harm will occur. They are watching.
Good.
Having Hatsu said that, there is something that kind of puts Madriana at ease with that as well. Because she's used to that feeling of everyone's watching all the time. So she strangely feels at home.
What's the sense
Right
of
now.
familiarity with that? Yeah.
Mm.
I guess we'll give the horses a quick rubbing, making sure they're okay, at ease, and give them care.
Dash.
Voice in the sky?
There's one final glimmer of gold atop the hill. You know not why, but you are the only one to see it.
Same as before. I'll just almost autopilot go towards it.
As you start to sort of climb the hill, it's difficult, it's slippy, but almost by instinct and pure nature you find every possible point of sure footing that you need to continue.
Story work, baby. Second story work, rather. What do I see when I get there?
Are you traveling alone? Or does your party travel with you?
Oh, Hatsu is on his knees. He's like right behind him.
Eos is following, but she's still drawn to keep her eyes on the moon. There's just something about it she can't take her eyes away from.
If it helps for Hatsu, I suppose it might be quite obvious that Dash has his eyes fixed on this particular point.
I would argue that he would sense a kind of flow state and meditative state that he's in for whatever reason. So he would just let it happen and follow to guide whatever's going to happen next.
You reach the top of the hill. Dash, I'll say you're first. Hatsu, very close second. You see multiple things. First thing that catches your eye, a town lit up by pure moonlight. Light shining across it like a blanket, a canvas painting it. There are torches and sconces and things flickering in the distance, but you get the feeling this place doesn't even need them. You've never seen anything like this before. It looks tranquil. It looks comforting. It looks warm. It looks like home. For the first time probably since you really got here, while standing outside at least, on this entire island, you don't feel cold. You don't feel out of sorts, out of place. You just feel welcome. The clouds move and they don't even seem to block the light as they pass through it. The moon is so bright. It's hard to dull that light. The next thing you see, a small creature. A feline brushes against your leg.
Kind of funny because that's happening IRL right now.
Hatsu, you would approach pretty quickly and see the same thing. And Eos, I believe you said you were following as well. You would see the same thing. Anyone else who said they were following, just in that order and pattern, you would all see it. It's not unique to Dash. He just happened to be the first one there, so.
And I'm absolutely giving scritches.
Hell yeah.
Does this thing, to me, seem to have the same presence as Albie?
In what sense?
Can I make out that it's conjured, summoned, not effectually real?
You can make an Arcana check if you'd like. You'd have some, pun intended, but familiarity with this.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit better. Dirty 20.
You would expect it to. The way it's behaving is not like any cat you've ever met. This is a very brave creature. But it seems authentic. It seems real. Not that Albie doesn't, but there's just
Mm.
this doesn't look like someone's in control of it. This doesn't look like a creature that is there to serve.
Mm.
Though
Okay.
no cat ever does.
That I was gonna say, it sounds like a cat.
Are we going any further, or are you just holding up the line?
Sorry, I kind of zoned out there. I'm just
Hats is
kind of.
tapping your left shoulder, and he whispers in your ear, "That's all right. It's fine. Just move along."
Gonna look around, see if I can spot that golden glow again.
You look out, and every time you're kind of focusing on something, you just hear. It brushes against your leg again.
I'll look down at the cat and see if it's trying to guide me, I guess.
As you reach down towards it, it tries to claw at your hand.
Yep, that's a cat. Shouldn't have gone for the belly.
Fatal mistake.
It was a trap.
She is beautiful, no? You look over, and leaning against a tree is a man, kind of a thinnish beard, darker skin, scruffy kind of hair. He wears this kind of red scarf around his neck, and he's wearing leathers akin to what you would actually wear.
He is stunning.
The cat sort of frolics back towards this guy and scampers up and sits on his shoulder. As heroic and brave as this guy wants to look, he just kind of winces a little bit as the cat kind of digs his nails in, but
yeah,
it's just the way it is.
Mr.
No, if you
Wolver,
take a
I
brush.
assume.
No, I'm Rowan, but I can take you to Wolver.
A pleasure to meet you. And he bows down a little bit, and he kind of guides with his hand that Dash should do the same.
Dash will just kind of do the hand on chest and slight head bow. Pleasure to meet you, Rowan.
So you are the friends of Remington?
Aye.
Good. I hope your journey was easy.
Not really.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can make it up to you.
There's no need to make up for anything. But thank you.
He leans forward from the tree and kind of skips a step or two. He kind of cracks his neck a little bit and moves forward. Shall we?
Need answer?
Starts to walk down the hill. So, where do you hail from?
Dash just looking at Hatsu like, you fucking answering that?
Dash has answered that question one too many times.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question right.
Where do you hail from? Where do you come from?
Well, as you might know, we arrived from the Crescent Pearl. Was quite a journey, but we learned a lot.
Yes, but where? Where are you from? What journeys have you been on?
Oh, this is the first journey with this group. It's part of our exams. And Mr. Maleficum ordered us to pick something up for the school.
Yes. Well,
But
What is
I'm
happening?
quite interested to hear your stories if we have time for that later.
Oh, we can make time. There's always time for a good story. Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah, so while this is happening, Eos is still very much drawn by the moon. She's following it. She's not purposefully ignoring the guy, but she couldn't care less considering the beautiful moon.
No worries.
Just following the crowd.
It takes so many of you to pick up one vial.
With all due to respect, as I said, is part of our exams. Part of it is group building, activities, things you do to make a good pack, I guess.
Well, that's a code that I can live by.
This guy. Does it actually feel like... How can I put this? It feels to me like he's an outsider as well, and he's looking for a way in. So he's trying to get in with us as if like, oh yeah, I'm part of the group to go into this village and to see these people. Is he actually part of this village, or is he just playing a part?
Ask the right questions, make the right insight checks. That's the advice that I'll give you.
Okay, let me think on it.
So, sunglasses at night. I think I know where you're from. The rest of you?
Where are you from?
I will say, just very quickly on that note, not once has he seemed even slightly phased or, perturbed by Eos or her presence, even though it's exposed.
Very much exposed, yeah.
Also gives the suggestion that he may have seen her before around here or somewhere. But, like, normally, even when you guys met her, there was a kind of sense of like, oh, wow, okay. That did not happen with this guy.
Yeah. Rory is waiting from that.
I'm from a town known as Penzance.
I hear they got good pirates there.
Not when I was there, but I left long ago.
And what is your trade then?
Well, trades change. My current trade is protector.
Is this place?
Of anywhere that I am told to protect.
Inside check.
That's the time.
God damn it.
5? Man, this guy is cool. You can't get a read on him at all. Crazy.
He said Penzance just to check that, right?
He did. Actually, he said Penzance.
Yeah.
Oh, with the accent. Oh, I hate this guy.
So, hearing that, I think I would perk up out of being lost in my own head and kind of, see what I'm listening to what's going on, but now be more present. And I think what I would do is I would ask him about, because he said he had, a trade, he was, long ago and whatever. I'm going to ask him about when we were in Penzance, there was like a fish storage place that burnt down.
Okay.
That was pretty important to the area. So knowing that I knew what it was, where it was, when it was, etc., and it would be something that'd be there a long time, I'm going to say to him, yeah, I've been to Penzance. One of the most important buildings there, just that building there, and I'm going to describe the outside of it, but I'm going to purposely pick the wrong colour and say to him, when was the last time, you were there or whatever.
Well, it's been feels like a few lifetimes.
So he doesn't correct me that I've told him the wrong color of one of the most prominent buildings in a small town.
Nope.
So I suppose what kind of a vibe am I getting is that he's trying to be cool, or he's trying to conceal how he's feeling, or that's just how he is, or that he's trying to be evasive. Do you know what I mean? Am I getting a vibe on how he said what he said?
I think you can answer that question better than me, but if you do want to make an insight check, you can, in the sense of to find out if there's truth or not, but how you feel about it is more up to you than to me.
Yeah. $15.
I mean, it's not in a sense of like he's trying to be cool. This is just kind of his demeanor and his attitude. You get the feeling that this is kind of just how he is. But you're not getting the vibe that he's essentially lying or hiding anything. He's just talking. Like he's not trying, like there are tells when someone's trying to manipulate you. They try and force the conversation.
Yeah.
They try and steer things. They try and pick certain phrases or things that might indicate that they're trying to manipulate a subject. And even if they do it so subtly, when you're aware that that could be a thing, you're conscious of it. You're not getting that vibe.
Is genuinely laid back and at ease where he is here and having the conversation that he's having with us, as opposed to, like you say, trying to be manipulative or steer the conversation.
And notably, he hasn't had any issue with the 7 or so strangers that just showed up either. He's not afraid of you in the slightest.
May I ask a question that is
But of course.
potentially, I don't want to say disrespectful, but certainly not of good etiquette.
I don't see why not. They have plenty of time to get to know each other.
See, that very sentence is what leads me to this question. How old are you?
Well, I don't know what year it is now, but I was born in 1280.
We know the year to be...
In
Yeah,
something, can't remember.
like 400 years, right? Yeah, I figured. Okay.
1542, that was it.
Fuck. I'm old.
You're old.
But does he look old for his race?
I
Like,
mean,
if
he
was
looks
Elven,
human.
he wouldn't...
Yeah, he
You're right.
looks human. Racially speaking, in this world, it's only the 1%. So if there was an elven trait or something, so to speak, you can't see it anyway. But he looks human. Normal ears, normal complexion. Looks
Right.
like any of the other humans you've passed in the entire journey to get here. Yeah.
Right.
I have a less important question, but one I need to know all the same. What's the cat's name? Sorry, DM.
No, I have the name, but it's just, yeah. It's called Boots.
Oops. No.
Are you, musician?
Mm.
Boots and cats, boots and cats.
The cat speak with a slight Spanish accent.
El Meow.
Wait, what's boots in French? Spanish.
Zapatos. And shoes.
Who was you sent here by?
I was guarding the border, and I am now French. I was guarding the border.
This is the guy that invented the croissants.
Yeah,
Found it.
it's him. I don't know why I have such a hard time when I'm doing this specific campaign, just staying in accent. It like just to get lost in it. They asked me to bring those who came from Remington. Although I do think that they thought that he was coming, but this is okay.
Someone of Remington's position. And unfortunately, his time is spoken for more often than not.
Yes, but a man who can teleport has more time than others.
True,
I guess it's parts of an exam. Pretty sure.
That's okay.
What's not to say he won't join us yet?
This is also true.
This is a DM question. It's bright enough that I probably wouldn't need the lenses, is it?
I mean, you see more with them on. Like, it's like in a video game when you turn up like the gamma and the shadow contrast. That's kind of what you're dealing with. Like, it's not daylight, it is nighttime, but and like you do have trees that block the light and stuff like that. But yeah, you can also take them off if you want to. You just wouldn't see as far or in detailed.
Oh, then in that case, what Dash would do is he'd take them off and go, oh, no, actually.
There's a difference between arc commands Shadow 1 and Shadow 3. There you go. Your FPS is a lot better.
Wait.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Wait, where did that get a controller?
Sorry, what?
Controller.
What did he say his name was again?
Rowan.
Rowan. Sorry, it's just because we had a few different names there for a minute.
Sorry. Ian.
No. On my side, on the side of my levers, where I've got like a small metal plate on the side of my levers, and that's what I always use to tap on to talk, basically.
Sure.
And I'm gonna tap away, and like I have the nails and stuff, so tap away on it and just say, "Nice to meet you, Rowan," to see if there's any recollection, any acknowledgement, any.
No direct response. If anything, he seems to think that it's kind of rhythmic, and he kind of moves a little bit to it.
I'll tap back to Madriana, just trying to kind of match the beat, but say, worth a shot.
Yeah, your group is very musical.
We're nothing compared to Slate.
Oh. Which one of you is Slate?
Points at Slate. Do we have
Waves back.
Do we have a bit of a walk into town? How long do you think it would take?
At this pace, 30 minutes.
In Slate, do you want to give us some background tunes?
Dance, monkey, dance.
I will take out for now, my normal loot. And I will, just give a rendition of a tavern favorite, anything in particular that I found, in the last week or so in particular that was of interest to people, so it might have a local kind of thing to it. And
This exact thing that's playing?
whatever tickles my fancy.
He dances in kind of a rhythmic way while he's walking. Like, there's a clear love for music within him that resonates as you're playing the music. Do you want to make a performance check?
I will indeed. 23.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. You nail it.
While I do this, I'm going to walk much, much closer, almost shoulder to shoulder. I also want to keep an eye on Chicken, who's in my hood, as he is when he's cold, etc., and see if he has any reaction, I suppose, to the man, the cat, the aura, anything in that proximity.
Chicken's mostly curled into this like inner lining pocket that you have.
Perfect. So nothing is out.
Phased. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So then I'll just relax a little and just sort of keep scanning to the front and just because I play so often. It's just something I do autonomously, so I'm able to, keep a look ahead and keep my wits about me. So I'll just keep playing a merry tune as we walk and keeping the morale high.
He gives
I'll
like a
tap
kind of
again.
broad clap. His like he's quite toned, like he's quite athletic looking. But he gives a broad clap and a very big smile on his face. He's very like rambunctious and stuff. Yeah.
I'll tap again, kind of to the beat of the music, so that Madriana, this will pick it up, and just one word question: legit?
Tapping back to the rhythm still. Absolutely not.
I'm as I finish the performance, I'm gonna take off my in the hood. I have a kind of a hat that I use as well, so I'm gonna take it off and just take it out for like the coin after a performance type of thing, and just see what he does.
My wallet is back on, but I won't forget.
You got a penny, governor? Got a penny? Got a penny?
In response to Dash's asking if it's legit, Lissa just taps back a question mark. I don't know how she would respond to that.
Hatsu, I think he's so close to Dash, he would kind of understand that something is going on, but he wouldn't pick it up, of course. But he would know something is going on. And he would just tap his shoulder. And he would say, "Don't worry, when she got you here, you're not in danger." And he points towards his jitte. And he says, "All good."
For Ryan, I don't actually know if he was there, but the jitte is it's kind of like a sigh.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's basically glandering.
Yeah.
Dash will kind of give like a slightly quizzical look, but could just kind of I say, "Okay, I trust you," without saying anything, just kind of like a slight kind of slow nod while maintaining eye contact.
Yeah.
Eos would like to try something. While we're walking along, the boys are, using Morse code between each other. Eos will quickly stop and point her finger towards Rowan. She's going to send a message. The message will be in 3 different languages. First, Seraphic. Second, there's 3 lines, okay? Seraphic, Runic, every day. It's going to be greetings. The moon is beautiful, is it not? In the 3 different languages to him.
He has a sudden stop and he's like, last person that did that to me was Remington. But I'll be honest, I have no idea what most of that meant.
And then she verbally bows. She bows?
She verbally bows. I bow!
Yeah, that was my brain.
That's alright, I do that so often.
She bows. Greetings, my name is Eos.
Pleasure. It's been a while since I've seen one of your kind.
I've never seen someone as old in mind yet young in body as you.
Oh, I got lucky.
How?
Timing? I met the Lunikin when I was 15. But I didn't join fully until I was almost 30.
Amazing. And your curious companion?
Oh, this is a new companion. Good friend. Great conversationalist.
Very good. And Eos returns to staring at the moon and just wandering.
Sorry, Rowan, you asked earlier where I was from. Kind of got lost in conversation. Do I need to tell you?
Probably.
Yeah.
You have a presence.
I much prefer your reaction to the reactions I've got from most on this path. If I inform them.
Yes, well, Paparoth is a bit shit, so.
A bit. You've clearly been.
Just kind of rolls his eyes.
Do you get away from this place much?
As much as I can. It's a little bit busy sometimes, but often, if there's time, it's good to travel.
Is there anywhere you haven't been?
It's a good question. I'm sure there are plenty of places. I'm not sure. It's nothing on my wish list.
Did you attend the school?
Oh, I wish. Maybe someday.
It's never too late, some might say. Especially not for your kind, I guess.
Hey, there's always time.
The day we stop learning is the day we die.
How are you still breathing then, Dash?
Because I have a lot to learn. Yeah, the atmosphere here, Rowan, is very almost relaxed. Warm, one might say. Not quite what I expected. It's welcome. Is Ken zoned out there?
Taking notes.
Considering what my friend here has said, with the warmth and availability of this place, wonders why people outside of this place fear it so. Or just quite rightly don't remember any of it.
Well, sometimes we take things into our own hands. Those who have ill intent need to be dispatched, and those who have positive intent, we just...
Bless you.
Sorry, I'm allergic to flowers.
Sneeze in their face.
We just push in a different direction.
I'm assuming as we're emissaries of Remington, we can assume that we won't be leaving with such blank spaces.
No.
This place reminds me very much of the Crescent Pearl, just without the pearl, if that makes sense.
This place is probably, well, I would guess about the same age.
I think they also were created in the same manner, I guess.
I'm old, but I'm not that old.
That's older, I know. That's Remington old. Even older, I guess. And he's old.
I wonder if I'm older than Remington.
What can you tell us about our host that we're about to meet? Obviously, any do's or don'ts of subjects he doesn't like, those kinds of things.
Well, you do be kind and you do be respectful. Don't piss him off.
Should we have
And
come
I guess
with a...
don't ask him if he likes the king, right?
King's temporary.
I don't think
Not
the monarchy is
particularly
probably. I don't think the monarchy is really relevant to him, Hatsu.
It might be if they start coming knocking on the trees.
Oh, now that would be good.
I imagine that would quantify some light entertainment for you.
I can't imagine that they have anything more trained than a common town god.
Rowan.
Hmm.
Before I make an ass out of you and me, are my kind welcome here?
Why not?
Thank you.
Not sure if she'd see it, but Dash would be smiling at that.
You're gonna bring Albie
Adriana
down
would
onto
see
my
it.
shoulder. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna bring Albie down onto my shoulder anyway. Keep him a little bit closer during this.
This guy's about 5'7", so like he's like between you guys in terms of height. Like he's not, like he's not gigantic or anything like that, but he's very toned, athletic. Just seems pretty good, and he's in very good spirits, very happy. You can see the glow of the town. You're definitely approaching it now. You're minutes away at most.
Is it busy? Is it quiet? Is it dead? Like,
Quiet, but like I don't know if any town is ever truly silent, but it's like it's quiet.
Have we been watched on our way here? By anyone other than
You
Rowan?
can make a perception check if you like.
Sure, why not? I'm super good at that.
None of you have specifically picked up on anything, but if you want to make an active check.
I don't see shit.
And that one for a
Nat
total
one
of
for a
0. That's amazing. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm blind in one eye.
Eos would have been keeping a wandering eye between looking at the moon and that.
Sure.
That's a 9.
9?
Moon's really
Seemed
nice.
like it. Yeah.
not following us, not escorting us, but if we're that close to town and we can see into it, does it seem like it's like if there's any movement? Like, is it people? Is it lichens?
No.
Is it?
I mean, you can hear the gentle chatter. That would be people, but like you're not. You're still a few minutes out. It's not like you have like full autonomy to walk around the town right now. But like from what you can see, it seems like a lived-in town. The lights are on in some of the houses and buildings and stuff like that, and it looks lived in. It doesn't look abandoned or anything.
But it's not like we see a lichen walking down the high street with a jacket on or something.
No,
Nothing
there's
like
no one in wolf form that you can see or anything like that. No, it just seems like general figures of humanoids.
Okay.
Anyone in sheep clothing?
One dude, but it's because the sheep festival's on. So
He's just running around. Yeah! Do you like my
Just there to
sheep?
celebrate the sheep jokes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh.
oh well,
I'm
and
sheep
don't make
to
me end
rule
this
them
session. I
all.
will do it right now. Yeah. So he leads you towards the town. Do you have any more questions before?
Is there any kind of customs we should observe when greeting someone of Wolver's position, or is it just a case of
Just right,
"Hi, how are you?
right down to the ground. Kneel. Bow.
You taking the piss?"
Yeah.
Thought so. I respect it.
Is a big smile that I cannot do.
not a question, Ron. Just thanks.
It's not a question.
Mhm.
Okay. Just keeps walking. It's just. You enter the border of like basically coming onto a street. Like, excuse me. Like in Red Dead, when you approach one of the towns, like you're kind of just suddenly in a town. Like you hit one road that's leading into town, you're just in the town.
Train being robbed.
Yeah. Catch the damn train, CJ. Yeah, you enter sort of the town, and to your surprise, it's pretty much all humans. Maybe to your surprise. I'm not going to tell you it's to your surprise. Would have surprised me. To my surprise,
It's like
it's mostly humans.
she's like,
Think you're okay? Yes.
yeah.
Nobody even glances at you.
Of all ages?
Yep.
Just adults?
Yep. Kids and adults and men, women. Everyone seems pretty just content to do their own thing. Nobody's even glanced towards you. Occasional person might nod and stuff as they walk past, but...
Rowan.
Yes.
How does a utopia such as this survive in a world that we have?
We follow the law, and we are well protected.
Whose law?
Town law.
Hmm.
Yeah,
This
Dash.
place.
No,
Go
you-
ahead, Dash.
I was going to say that Dash would kind of go to Lissa and just quietly, not like in a whisper, but just almost in a slightly overawed voice, be like, "This is what it should be like."
Am I gonna be thrown out for robbing this place, or...?
Oh, definitely. So
Oh,
don't.
shit. Well, don't is that's strong.
It's strong. Don't.
Let's play it by ear.
Let's don't.
Yes, of course, let's just play it by ear. What are the laws here? There's a grin from him that can be seen even from the sides of his face, like the skin kind of lifts so you can see it. He's just... Well, I wouldn't do that.
See?
He has quite perceptive hearing to hear you at that distance talking at that volume.
Then just in tacky talk. No, seriously, don't.
You get back, we'll see.
God damn it. No persuading this woman.
You just have to be the right person.
Madriana, would you talk to her?
I just tatty talk back, cat. Don't pull me into your squabbles. But for your own
Tapping
head's
over her
sake,
back.
yeah. But for your own head's sake, Lissa, you might want to keep your fingers in your pockets for this one.
She grins, but we'll see.
Let's go slap her on the ass.
Oh,
So quickly, there's a dagger against your leg.
which leg?
Apparently, I have 3.
The houses and buildings here are made mostly of wood. You can tell that they have made it from the environment around them, but they also respect the environment around them. This might perk Busy's ears up a little bit, but akin to that of Valheim, sort of a Nordic kind of, the sort of beautiful ornate buildings, like this kind of, you know, Norse mythology almost kind of buildings that they're slightly famous for. One of many things. Just beautiful, like the wood, the craftsmanship is all amazing. The use of metal is limited, but it is there. There's a lot of stonework in it too. Everything is beautifully designed. There's symbols above doors and stuff that might signify something like numbers or houses or names. It's hard to tell, but it's just part of the local culture. It's not even necessarily language, but more just some sort of moniker or something to denote something. Everything just makes structural sense, but this also looks like a town that's been built upon to expand over time. Everything that looks worked on looks just outstanding. Like really, really outstanding. It's just stunning craftsmanship that looks like it's more a labor of love than it is of practicality. Each of these buildings clearly serves a purpose, but they also serve as to be a part of something bigger.
As we're walking along, Eos will be taking mental note of any prominent names on shops or bookshops or anything. You know, she just likes that kind of stuff.
There are bookstores, there are stores in general. There's a general store, there's a blacksmith, there's a functioning like society here. There's bakery, there's places for food, there's inns and everything. There's just For all intents and purposes, this looks like a normal town. The only thing changing that perception for any of you is what you know about the town and what you have witnessed with the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go and see your master then.
Master? No.
Leader.
We have no masters.
Boss.
He leads you towards this beautiful big building, and it has like this sort of roof that almost hangs over the building itself with these beautiful lanterns that are lit underneath it. There's planters and everything around it. It's super well maintained and well cared for and quite big. But what stands out to you more than any of that is that the moon itself seems to be shining upon this structure in the middle of the town. As you approach the door, he turns and he says, "Are you ready?"
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He turns to go back in, he cracks his neck, and his size changes from 5 foot to about 7 as he starts to lean forward, hair sprouting from his neck, his nose extends. There's a snarl and a growl as the teeth grow longer. Like these claws grow from his hands, and instead of this shorter gentleman that stood before you previously, you're now sort of faced with a much larger gentleman in dog form. I'll pull up a picture here. Oh, sorry. The shirt rips slightly, but it looks almost like it was crafted to. It looks built for him in both forms. The eyes glow red. The fur moves back in these long sort of flowing, in a long flowing capacity, whilst the front of his fur is a lighter color and the back is kind of darker. This is what you would have learned in your stories to be a lycanthrope, but this is the first time you've ever seen one.
Excited and delighted. She smiles.
Dashka has an element of fear initially because, society. But he
Well,
gets over
the
himself.
fear kind of grows as you walk in, and there are 13 others sitting there. They all sit there in that form, and they're having fun, and they're sitting there drinking, eating large meat that looks like it could be something more like a deer leg that they're eating as if it was a chicken drumstick. And way, way, way at the back, sitting in a large throne made of wood with this beautiful ornate gold design on it, is a large wolf, much older than the rest, but also looks more ferocious, larger in size by almost double. Sitting in the throne, introduced to you, is Wolver. Armored and ready for battle at any moment's notice. The teeth are sharper, the claws are longer, the fur is shaggier. The size is far, far superior. If there were ever to be considered something of an alpha or even a legend of this place, this is it. But we'll deal with that next week. This is what we're going to call it.
Oh,
I promised you guys you'd have a little bit of like extra
so
capacity to
much.
it, but there you go.
I know.
Like,
Thank you. It was
just
worth it.
keep going.
Just always never
Come on,
stop.
Come on.
Never stop. No.
Take it.
Won't stop. Can't
So,
stop.
From here,
Ready for D&D?
Oh.
that would be cool, man. From here, what we're going to do is obviously we'll go into our post show. So for those of you who are joining us, we really appreciate it. And those of you who have joined us, thank you so much. Got a lot of new followers today. We got a hype train. We got subs. We got all sorts of stuff. And we really, really appreciate it. It's been super, super nice. Thank you guys for being so active in chat. It was a very active chat today, and we really appreciate it too. We see it
Rory's a
all.
bit disappointed we moved on from 169 followers.
Yeah, I saw
We
that.
blew past it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being with us. We see everything. We love it, and we appreciate it. You're welcome to join us in socials if you want to. We're not going to push it, but we will plug it, and we definitely appreciate it. So from all of us, from the Wandering Isles for this week, we thank you very much and we bid you adieu. And for those of you joining us, we'll see you in a few. But for those of you not, thank you. Cheerio.